All right. Hello. Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to this beautiful morning in Brazil, afternoon in Europe, night in Asia. Be very, very welcome. We are getting started here. We are sorry for the little delay. Well, welcome, bem-vindos, bienvenue, benvenuti, bienvenidos. Well, we extend a warm welcome to our viewers on YouTube and to all our readers joining us across various platforms here on Zoom, also from different places around the world. We are so glad you are here. Well, before we dive in, let me introduce myself. I'm Henrique Sanjez. I'm responsible for communication and education and culture in the new EoF Foundation. I work with the executive team. And I'm very, very glad to be here sharing these moments with all of you. And let me explain how this marathon will unfold today. Throughout the day, we will share stories, reflections, discussions, all of them centered on the theme of hope. You will hear from diverse voices, each one of them offering a unique perspective on the challenges and triumphs women face today and how hope fuels our journey forward. We invite you to be an active part of this experience, and we share your thoughts. We invite you to share your thoughts in the chat, reflect on what resonates with you, and most importantly, carry these conversations beyond today. This is not just a moment, it is part of a movement toward a more just and equal world. Well, I invite Marcia, who is here with us today, to talk a little more about this initiative. Marcy, please.
Thank you, Enrique. Good morning to all here from Peru. I'm Marcia, part of the Assembly of Economy of Francesco. As Enrique said, you might notice we're commemorating International Women's Day rather than celebrating it. This distinction is intentional. While we acknowledge and celebrate the incredible achievements of women, March 8th is also a day to remember the ongoing struggle for equality and justice. It's a day to honor the women who have fought and continue to fight for their rights. It's a day to reflect on the persistent inequalities that demand our attention and action. We commemorate to remind ourselves of the work that remains and to renew our commitment to creating a world where all women are empowered and valued. On behalf of the EoF Assembly and all of the team, I want to express our deepest gratitude to each of you, our readers, contributors, and audience for making this initiative possible. Your engagement, your words, and your presence today give meaning to this moment.
Thank you, Marcy. Well, this marathon is a collective space for reflection, inspiration, and renewed hope. So we are here to listen, to learn, and to be moved by the strength and resilience of women everywhere. I would like particularly to express my gratitude to the working team who worked to help make this possible. Several names here I won't mention, but one of them is Marcia, of course, and two of them are our first participants here. So let's embark on this journey together with hope as our guiding light. In the very beginning, we are going to present you now a video from Valentina Erasmo and Diletta Pasqualotto, contextualizing the Women for Economic Village and other things they are bringing today. So let me prepare here and show you. Just a minute. All right. Just a second, please. Share. All right. Here we go. All right, here we go.
Welcome, everyone. We are Diletta and Valentina, two of the coordinators of Women for Economy Village. Today, before diving into the important readings and speeches for the marathon, for the International Day of Women, we would like to give you a brief introduction about the Village Women for Economy, what it stands for, what WIN means. Women for Economy stand for equal opportunities and women empowerment, but never at the cost of division. We believe that thriving societies are built on the well-being of both men and women, working together toward shared progress. In a time of uncertainty and change, unity is more than a choice. It's the path to hope. By fostering collaboration, respect, and inclusivity, we create a future where economic growth and social harmony go hand in hand. Now, more than ever, we embrace unity as the foundation for a stronger and more hopeful world. But how do we create hope? How do we cultivate true well-being? Not just for some, but for all. The answer starts with kindness. Kindness is not just a soft skill or a personal virtue. It is a powerful force for change. When we choose kindness, we open the door to dialogue. And dialogue is where transformation begins. In societies, in workplaces, in families, and even in international relations, real progress happens when people listen to one another with respect, when we replace judgment with curiosity, and when we seek solutions rather than division. Today, as we celebrate women around the world, let's remember that empowerment does not mean opposition. It means inclusion. It means working together. It means believing that a better future is not only possible, but within reach if we choose to shape it with kindness, dialogue, and unity. And speaking of well-being, there is another essential element that contributes to a thriving society: beauty and care. People taking care of ourselves, of others, and of the world around us is not just an act of self-preservation, but a way to create harmony and balance. And now Valentina will tell us more about this.
Thank you very much, Diletta. Thank you very much for this beautiful introduction, and good morning and good afternoon. It depends on where you are. My name is Valentina, and as Diletta, I am one of the EoF Village Women for Economy coordinator. As Diletta has already shared with you, this moment is a moment for hope, but also for sharing with you beauty and care. And in this respect, I would like to share with you a beautiful address that Pope Francis had with the member of the American Jewish Committee held on the International Women's Day in 2019. And now I'm going to quote some of his words. Women make the world beautiful. They protect it and keep it alive. They bring the grace of renewal, the embrace of inclusion, and the courage to give of oneself. Peace, then, is born of women. It arises and is rekindled by the tenderness of mothers. Thus, the dream of peace becomes a reality when we look towards women. It is not by chance that in the account of Genesis that women comes from the side of the man while he is sleeping. So women, that is, have their origins close to a heart and a dream. They therefore bring the dream of love into the world. If we take to heart the importance of the future, if we dream of a future of peace, we need to give space to women. And I think these words summarize well, what we are going to share with you in a moment like this. Because celebrating International Women's Days means celebrating those who makes the world beautiful and will bring the dream of a future of love and peace, such as women. About our village, our activity. We are representing every day this very same beauty with our presence, with our efforts for promoting women's role in economics. And in this respect, we are strongly encouraging discussion around a proper balance between care and work. Because women should be free to have a family and at the same time to have a job. One of the main goals of the EoF Village Women for Economy is that to remind that the activity of care is mainly handled by women. However, the activity of care is the same attention that women every day makes also and offer in a totally different context like that of their jobs. So for this reason, we want to encourage economists, other social scientists, but also entrepreneurs and policymakers, because many of these figures are active members in the EoF community, for creating those conditions that might favor this proper balance between care and job for women. And I think that we deserve it because we are those who make the world beautiful. I would like to conclude this moment with you with a passage of the Letter to Women written by St. John Paul II. Thank you, every woman, for the simple fact of being women. Through the insight, which is so much a part of your womanhood, you enrich the world's understanding and help to make human relationship more honest and authentic. So we really welcome everybody of you are intended to join our dream of peace and care for a wonderful world. And in this respect, you might concretely join our EoF Village Women for Economy, writing an email to the EoF staff community. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you and enjoy the rest of the marathon.
All right. Thank you, Diletta. Thank you, Valentina. Well, after this warm welcome, we now introduce you to Olena Komisarenko from Ukraine, who's going to bring more important information and insights to this very special moment. Welcome, Olena.
Hello, thank you. I would like to start with the words of Pope Francis. Hope does not disappoint. These words, drawn from St. Paul and echoed by Pope Francis, remind us of deep and unshakable foundation of hope in our journey towards a more just and sustainable world. Today we celebrate International Women's Day. We do so in the spirit of the Economy of Francesco, the process that envisions an economy that is inclusive, just, and life-giving. An economy where women are not only present, but are key protagonists of change. Pope Francis tells us that hope is an active virtue that makes good things happen. This is the kind of hope that women bring into the economy and society, not just as a passive desire for change, but an active force that transforms realities, builds communities, and sustains life. Hope is found in women farmers who protect the earth and nourish families. Hope is in the entrepreneurs who create ethical social businesses that respect people and the planet. Hope is in the activists and economists who change existing structures of sin. Yet, despite their crucial role, women still face economic injustice, lower wages, few opportunities, unpaid care work, and limited access to leadership roles. This is not just an economic issue, it is a moral issue. Economy of Francesco and our village Women for Economy calls everyone to rethink wealth, work, and development, ensuring that economic structures reflect justice, sustainability, and human dignity. And in this vision, women play an essential role. Throughout history, women have built economies of solidarity, whether in cooperatives, small businesses, or family households. Their contributions are not marginal, they are foundational. Hope does not disappoint, because hope is built every day by lives of women. Hope is in the mothers, the daughters, the leaders, the workers, and the dreamers who believe in a better world. Hope is in each of us. When we choose to build an economic life that serves humanity and protects creation, hope is essential for our being. Today, let us not only celebrate the contribution of women, but commit ourselves to creating an environment where their dignity, work, and hopes are fully recognized and realized. Because a world where women thrive is a world where hope does not disappoint. And right now, I would like to come to our senior thematic coordinator of Women for Economy, Luchia Marchegiani, and I would like to ask her a couple of questions that would help us reflect also on the words of Pope Francis and on our vision and the change that we hope to make further. Luchia, many women in business and academia still face structural barriers such as unequal pay, limited access to leadership roles, and cultural biases. In your experience, how can hope become a tool for resilience and transformation of these challenges?
Thank you, Olena. Thank you for having me here at this very, very important happening. And welcome and good morning, afternoon, night, whatever, to everyone who's watching. I'm really, really honored to be here. And I hope that this discussion can help and can add some valuable insights into the conversation. And your question is very important. And I must say that being a scholar interested in management studies that deal with women work and the work of the balance that women need to make for in their double responsibility is somehow frustrating, because these studies have been around for quite several decades so far, and we still haven't reached a status of equity between women work and men work in all over the globe, I would say, not even in those more most industrialized countries. So globally speaking, until now, and the gender pay gap is persistent. So there are substantial barriers to women's workforce participation, and other key drivers that we study are still showing some sort of discrimination against women. So hope can be a very important keyword and a very important leverage to still continue studying these processes, but also providing some solutions that can better off the work condition of women. Hope can still empower women in navigating these complexities as work contexts are becoming more and more complex, and in advocating policies that can accommodate better both career and family life. And also without neglecting the differences that we want to stress out that we have against or in relation to men, but also hope can be a leverage to ask for better working conditions and better sharing of the care work with our partners and with our counterparts. So without holding on to hope, I would say, women can strive for personal and professional fulfillment. But hope, as it has been pointed out very strongly and very effectively by Pope Francis, hope is not a vague illusionment. Hope is something very, very solid and very practical. So I hope we can talk more about that.
True, thank you. I share this opinion, and you have mentioned a bit of context, like working environment and advocating policies in the context of today's economic and social challenges. Where do you see, in more, let's say, maybe precise way, hope playing the most significant role in shaping the future of work and leadership, and especially for women?
We are facing quite interesting changes and radical changes in the world economy with the twin transitions, digital transformation, green transition. We have, while facing such unprecedented changes, we also have quite interesting opportunities to foster this kind of hope and ask for changes that better off the conditions of women. I mentioned digital and technologies and green transformation, because those are transformations that are, first of all, impacting all the companies, not, whatever their size is, whatever their industries is, whatever their, let's say, even juridical status is. So that means it's really a global phenomenon. And through these companies are facing these changes, so they are more and more aware that, most of all, digital technologies and artificial intelligence, while stressing out the need for new organizational models, can also be the opportunity for restructuring the work for women and rebalancing and making the work conditions more suitable to what we call harmonization. Together with other colleagues, and you have seen them also before in the video, and I appreciated their video a lot. We are in the process of publishing a contribution which is called Beyond the Feminist Approach. So I think that this time of change is also an opportunity for us in the Economy of Francesco, as a process, not only in the Women for Economy Village, to call out for a new approach to women work, and that goes beyond feminism, and that really puts at the center the role of the feminine capital, as we call it in the chapter, and has been called also another contribution. So the feminine capital means something very valuable for companies. So if companies understand the value of feminine capital, then some sort of policies within the company in terms of human resources policies, work arrangement, organization of work, are built around the concept of feminine capital to maximize this capital, because companies are very sensitive to the value of capital, right? So that's the trick I see that can change the world around.
Thank you. And talking about new organizational models and like that would recognize the feminine capital that you have anticipated, maybe we can also go a bit in details about the chapter, because it's also like the reflection of our, let's say, common work done on that. I would like to ask you about how can hope help women navigate modern complexities, and while striving for both personal and professional fulfillment, finding that balance and harmonization that you have mentioned?
Yes, Hope, as is understood in the way we stressed out before, can be shared not only, can be not only a trigger for women advocating for their role in companies, but it can be shared on a societal point of view. And these can help understanding and reshaping the expectations, that the societal expectations on the role of women in society and in the workplace. So, for instance, the high cost of childcare is a substantial barrier to women's workforce participation, and it also contributes to the gender pay gap. The way we envision paternal or maternal leave, most of the time confined in very early stage or very early ages, do not encourage and do not favor the workforce, the women participation to work. But if hope is shared in a sense that it fosters resilience and adaptability from a whole society point of view, then it encourages the pursuit of supporting networks and advocacy for policies that can accommodate both career and family life. Again, this double burden should not be conceived and seen only on the shoulder of women, because that's a societal challenge. It's not only a women problem, it's a problem for everyone. So flexible working arrangements, affordable childcare, effective paternal and maternal policies, that is something that should be tackled all together, not only advocated by women. And by holding on to hope in the sense of not as we say empty illusion, but hope in the sense of being anchored to something very strong and very material, then it can lead to substantial change in the work policies.
Thank you very much. I've got a question to you that would be rather personal. As a mother of a big family and also a woman who develops professionally. So in families, values, dreams, aspirations are passed down from one generation to the next. And what do you believe is the most important lesson that women today can pass to the future generations about hope and economic justice?
I like what the Spes non confundit, one of the sentences in the Spes non confundit that says, St. Paul is a realist. So I think we should really engage in a very realist approach and together. So Pope Francis says that love is tested amid trials. And so we as women at work face trials, face sufferings, but we should never, never give up. And we should always have someone, even partners, male partners at our side supporting us. So it's not, I do believe that this is not a battle we have to do by ourselves, but this is an alliance. This requires an alliance. My experience as a mom of 6 starts from the high support that I have from my partner, from my husband, and I do believe that is it somehow gives ground to the hope. And how we pass it on to new generations is through the example. We don't need too many words. We just need to show up to the new generation of newcomers in academia, in organizations, that this can be done.
Thank you. I believe that this way of, let's say, example and can be the message of hope that on this international message, on this International Women's Day, can be a message that we would like to share with the women and who are striving to bring positive change to their communities, workplaces, and the broader economy. If there is something we would like also to share as an inspiration to close our let's say, interview and
Yeah,
our moment together. So
I
you're
do
most welcome.
encourage resilience. That's a key one, a trendy topic, but it's also very effective, but also determination. So as again, Pope Francis encourages us not to give up. Hope is a strength within ourselves, and that's very, very rooted in very solid basis that tells us to be determined, and that can be a catalyst for transformation. Even small changes, but put together, they can lead to great transformations.
Thank you very much. Hope is an active virtue, and this message is really essential, and I really hope that can bring real practical and resilient change. Thank you very much.
Thank
Bye.
you, and thanks everyone. I hope
Bye.
you have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, thank you, Lucia. Thank you, Olena. Grazie mille delle tue partecipazioni. Well, we will move forward now from Ivory Coast, Côte d'Ivoire. We are going to present Rebecca. Bienvenue, Rebecca. C'est un plaisir de t'avoir ici. Je t'en prie, à toi la parole.
Merci Enrique. Bonjour à tous, bon après-midi à tous. Eh bien, moi, c'est Rebecca Salimatato. Je suis du Hub de la Côte d'Ivoire et je suis également entrepreneur. J'ai fondé une start-up du nom de AgriBanana qui valorise les déchets agricoles, plus précisément les déchets de bananiers en produits utiles tels que des sacs d'emballage en papier 100% biodégradables et recyclables. Donc aujourd'hui, concernant le marathon de lecture, j'ai voulu proposer un test extrait de l'œuvre de l'auteur Fatou Diom, qui est une auteure sénégalaise, dont l'œuvre est riche en réflexions sur l'identité, l'immigration et particulièrement sur les femmes et leur place dans la société. Donc, c'est extrait de son œuvre intitulée Le ventre de l'Atlantique. La mère est une amante infidèle. Elle m'a séduite un jour, je l'ai quittée pour un autre et elle m'a attendue. Depuis que je suis née, elle est là, dans la peau de ma mère, de ma grand-mère et aussi dans la peau de toutes celles qui ont aimé, qui ont pris le risque de partir et d'oublier leur passé pour épouser leur avenir. Ma mère ne me parlait presque pas de la mer. Elle ne me parlait pas de ses rêves d'Afrique qui m'étaient si familiers. Elle ne parlait jamais des espoirs de ceux qui partaient, même quand je les voyais partir. Je voyais leur courage, leur fragilité et leur espoir, mais cela ne me touchait pas. Peut-être que l'Afrique, tout simplement, me semblait déjà à l'intérieur de moi. Je n'avais pas besoin de la voir, de la toucher pour y vivre. Mais quand je suis devenue une femme, un autre monde s'est imposé. Un monde qui ne me donnait pas de place. C'est dans la pauvreté que l'on devient riche. C'est dans l'humilité que l'on se forge. Et c'est dans la douleur que l'on apprend la beauté des choses. Mais pourquoi? Pourquoi ce sacrifice constant des femmes? Pourquoi cette attente infinie d'un lendemain meilleur que l'on ne voit jamais? Je me suis longtemps posé cette question. Pourquoi, quand on est femme, la société semble vous offrir des miettes? Et je me suis rendu compte qu'elles sont invisibles, ces miettes. Ce sont celles que l'on donne en silence, qu'on accepte sans rien dire. Mais si l'on ose réclamer plus, si l'on ose se lever, alors on devient un danger. Un danger pour ceux qui nous regardent comme des objets destinés à leur service. Quand j'ai quitté mon île, il y avait un autre monde, un monde de promesses, mais aussi de renoncement. Et j'ai compris que partir n'est pas un acte de fuite, mais une quête, une recherche de soi. Ce voyage n'était pas une recherche de la mer, mais une recherche de ma place dans ce monde. une place qu'on ne m'offrait pas simplement à cause de mon sexe. Les femmes, nous sommes toutes des océans de terre inconnus. La mer ne nous abandonne jamais. Nous avons des vagues dans le cœur, des tempêtes dans les veines. Nous sommes des femmes. Et rien n'est plus puissant que le courage d'une femme qui prend soin de son destin, qui prend son destin en main. Cet extrait explore la dualité de la condition féminine entre espoir et sacrifice et aborde les défis auxquels les femmes, notamment en Afrique, sont confrontées tout en faisant face à des réalités sociales imposées. La métaphore de la mer est puissante ici, symbolisant à la fois la liberté et les sacrifices, tout en mettant en lumière la quête des femmes pour leur autonomie et leur place dans le monde. Je vous remercie de m'avoir écouté et voici ainsi partagé le texte extrait de l'œuvre de Fatou Diom, auteure sénégalaise africaine. Merci.
Merci, Rebecca. Merci beaucoup pour ta participation. Well, we will try to put all of these texts, or most of them, available on our website or on social media. So please hang on there. And so that you can also better understand those contexts, those important words from women all over the world. So thank you once again, Rebecca. Merci beaucoup. Well, we will advance now, and we are gonna hear some words from Daria Mahidi, President of UN Women Italy. She's gonna talk a little bit about, she will bring highlights on the persistent global gender inequality. And let's move to her here. Go. Right, here we go.
I dati del World Economic Forum ci ricordano che in nessun paese al mondo la parità di genere è stata raggiunta. Quindi in nessun paese al mondo, pensiamo, le donne godono degli stessi diritti e delle stesse opportunità degli uomini. Anche in quei paesi dove noi pensiamo che questa parità sia una realtà, invece guardando i dati ci accorgiamo che purtroppo i problemi di violenza, il problema di discriminazioni sono una realtà. Quindi di fatto metà della popolazione mondiale, se ci pensiamo, vive in una specie di apartheid di genere. Non importa pensare ai paesi dove purtroppo alle donne è vietato di studiare, di partecipare alla vita di tutti i giorni. Basta pensare veramente a qualsiasi nazione e c'è evidente che la donna deve ancora fare molta strada per davvero raggiungere la parità. E allora in questa occasione della giornata mondiale della donna penso che sia importante tutti insieme riflettere alla parola speranza. Quindi come trasformare la speranza in un atteggiamento non passivo di attesa, ma in un atteggiamento di azione. Quindi come noi, persone di buona volontà, possiamo far sì che la situazione delle bambine nel mondo sia diverso, che non debbano subire mutilazioni genitali, che non debbano subire matrimoni precoci, che non debbano subire violenze, che abbiano la possibilità di studiare, che abbiano la possibilità di realizzarsi. E come fare sì che le ragazze nel mondo possano davvero sentirsi alla pari con i propri coetanei e non essere sempre in una situazione quasi di inferiorità. E le donne del mondo essere in grado di essere autonome, indipendenti economicamente, davvero gestire la propria vita, la vita dei propri cari. Come riuscire a creare queste situazioni? Io penso che tutti insieme dobbiamo essere agenti di cambiamento. Ognuno di noi ha una grande responsabilità di impattare il cambiamento intorno a sé, in primis dentro di sé, ma poi intorno a sé. Ognuno di noi può creare associazioni, reti, network, affinché questo pensiero della consapevolezza che le donne e le ragazze non hanno le stesse opportunità diventi davvero una missione, una vocazione, un modo di agire. Ognuno di noi può fare tanto, possiamo fare tanto in famiglia, possiamo fare nel mondo dell'educazione, possiamo fare tantissimo nel mondo del lavoro, della politica. L'importante è davvero avere consapevolezza che le donne non hanno assolutamente raggiunto una situazione di parità e che è responsabilità di ognuno di noi fare un passo avanti. Come rappresentante di UN Women Italy, il nostro progetto quest'anno per l'8 marzo sarà sicuramente lo slogan March Forward, quindi tutti insieme dobbiamo marciare in avanti affinché la situazione possa migliorare. Due dati italiani: purtroppo sappiamo che l'occupazione femminile in Italia è veramente basso se confrontato alla media europea e che c'è un gap incredibile fra il lavoro, diciamo, delle donne e il lavoro degli uomini. E quindi soprattutto al mondo dell'impresa, al mondo della politica faccio un appello: favorire con strumenti attivi, con politiche attive, con leggi, la situazione attuale, fare in modo che le donne possano davvero non solo entrare nel mondo del lavoro, ma possono anche rimanerci in serenità, ricoprendo anche il ruolo di madri se lo desiderano. Un altro tema che mi sta molto a cuore è il tema della fuga dei giovani, dei cervelli, soprattutto delle ragazze che studiano, imparano, si formano in Italia e poi però purtroppo appunto vanno via. Altro tema che mi sta molto a cuore è il lavoro degli uomini, il contributo maschile, affinché questo desiderio di diritti sia, come dire, universale. I diritti delle donne non possono rimanere un problema femminile, sono un problema universale e gli uomini devono farsi carico, devono essere sentinelle sociali per proteggere, per supportare il più possibile le donne. Se pensiamo che ogni 10 minuti si stima che nel mondo ci sia un omicidio per femminicidio, se pensiamo che i dati ci dicono che una donna su 3 ha subito forme di violenza, ecco, io penso che in un contesto in cui davvero tutti ambiamo ad avere vite più prospere, più giuste, questa situazione femminile sia veramente da affrontare con determinazione, con leggi, con risorse e con
All right, all right. Those were the words in Italian from Daria Mahidi. Thank you so much in advance for this beautiful video, for this important contribution. Well, we are gonna check here if we have our next reader, Ivana. Ivana Boyko. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly, okay, Ivana? So I kindly ask you when you join us to please introduce yourself and say correctly your name. I'm very sorry about that. Well, Ivana from Ukraine, take your time, present yourself. We are looking forward to hear from you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for the presentation. You said rightly my name and surname. My name is Ivana Boyko. I am from Ukraine. I am currently working at Caritas Ukraine, and today I invite you to reflect on the passage concerning the true meaning of work. And I'll be sharing the ideas of Professor Helen Aliport, an economist, Dean of Social Sciences at the Pontifical University of St. Thomas Aquinas in Rome, appointed president of the Pontifical Academy of Social Sciences, and Svetlana Dudenko, an Ukrainian architect and designer, honored artist of Ukraine, a distinguished lecturer at the Kharkiv State Academy of Design and Arts. So let's start with the job design in the perspective of laborative exercise by Professor Helen Aliport. The bottom exercise follows the social encyclicals before it in maintaining that work is a key, probably the essential key to the whole social question. Furthermore, if the solution, or rather the gradual solution of the social question, must be sought in the direction of making life more human, then the key, namely human work, acquires fundamental and decisive importance. Indeed, John Paul II makes the link between the social question and work, the co-concern of the encyclical. In taking up this question anew, we do not intend to cover every one of its aspects. Still less is it our intention merely to gather together and repeat what is already contained in the Church doctrine. We seek rather to show more clearly, perhaps, than has been done before, that careful study of human work in the service of man's good shows it to be a key, as it were, to the whole social question. It is clear that the bottom exercise sees work as the focal point of any resolution of the social problems that society faces. This would suggest that the kind of work, how much of it, how it relates to other aspects of human living, how it is remunerated, what possibilities there are for personal development through work, all these factors are important, not only in creating systems of work worthy of the human being, but also important in the resolution of social problems in general. In other words, solving problems to do with work does or should help to alleviate wider social problems. These claims seem large and somewhat difficult to substantiate. How could the resolution of problems to do with work be so influential over other aspects of social life? By looking at the question of job design in the perspective of laborum exercens, however, I think it can be shown that many social problems can indeed be connected with the organization of work, and that in this encyclical and the social tradition of which it is a part, have continued to put forward an important insight, the consequences of which are not fully realized. Actually, what principles of job design emerge from laborum exercens? The most basic level of this encyclical is theological. In the perspective primarily of Genesis, work emerged as a fulfillment of the command of the Creator to be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth and subdue it, and thus as a participation in the creative activity of the Creator. This forms the deepest essence of the understanding of work in laborum exercens. In working, we act transitively on an external object and therefore express our dominion over things. Even in advanced economies where the work we do is very different from those obtaining from Genesis was written, the same basic aspects of work hold true. Even if the dominant systems of work organization can sometimes obscure our experience of these aspects of work, the bottom exercise does not deal more formally with the aspect of toil and the destruction of self that we also experience in work. Work is not a necessarily evil imposed on us as a result of the fall, although sin impacts and damages us in our work, but it is primarily about the expression of our true nature as being in the image and likeness of God, and of fulfilling God's command to subdue the earth. The subsequent paragraphs of this part of the encyclical on technology, objective dimension of work, the subjective dimension of work, the right ordering of these two dimensions, work as solidarity and personal dignity, and work and society develop these basic insights. Similarly, the other parts of the encyclical on the conflict between labor and capital, the rights of workers, and elements of the spirituality of work also further elaborate on the core ideas already presented on the theological level. However, we already have the basic insights necessary for understanding job design in the perspective of laborum exercens. Systems of job design need to respect and promote the nature of the person as made in the image and likeness of God, and to allow those working within them to experience the dominion over the good things of the earth. We can identify 5 key points in this encyclical which are useful in relation to work and job design, both for understanding what kind of approach is implied by the encyclical and for evaluating classic and alternative job design approaches. The word work means everything human beings accomplish. Any human act which is or ought to be accounted work among the great number of different forms of purposive activity. Second, it is a human duty to work, through which we achieve three things. We support ourselves, we contribute to the development of the arts and sciences, we raise cultural and moral standards. Particularly important, says John Paul II. Second, B, work is a fundamental dimension of man's life on earth, something which human sciences based on reason show to be true and which faith confirms. Third, work bears man's signature, the distinctive mark of human nature, acting within a community of persons. Like a signature, to some extent, work reveals who the human person is. Furthermore, it constitutes to a certain extent his very nature. Fourth, God commands us to be fruitful and multiply, and to have dominion over the fish of the sea and the birds of the air. Work is a part of our response to that command. Work is a transitive activity. The human person works and produces an object. Dominion over the earth is thus performed and through performance developed. Subduing the earth includes the activities of discovery and understanding. It has an immense range. Fifth, technology is a set of instruments for the human person to use in work, and thus an ally in production. The existence and development of technology manifests and confirms our ability and call to have dominion over the earth. However, it can also be used to dominate others. Here, technology is used to instrumentalize the person, reversing the right order of values and making the human person subservient to a created thing. Point 1 outlines what John Paul II means in the context of the encyclical when he uses the term work. Point 2 indicates what relation human work has to the human person. It is both a fundamental dimension of our existence and beauty. Thus, it is both something inescapable, part of our makeup as human beings, and something we must strive to do and commit ourselves to. This follows from the first definition of work, any purposive activity that can be accounted as work. Thus, children's play is the most intense form of a human work, through which they learn and become more fully human. But play needs also to be extended by a gradually unfolding commitment to particular forms of work at particular times. First, though going to school, subsequently in other ways, by which we take up the duty to work and achieve the three elements listed above as fruits of fulfilling our duty. Perhaps the most interesting idea in this list is that work bears man's signature. Through our work, we reveal who we are. This is a very important point to consider in job design. What potential does a job give to human beings to put their signature on their work? In order for this to be possible, they have to have some dominion, some control, and room for a maneuver, some freedom. Hence, the enormous importance of point 4, not only in terms of the view of the human person it gives us, but also practically in the process of job design. With these 4 points as necessary preliminaries, the key point of job design arises in point 5, that is technology. Technology is an instrument, and the human person the active agent. This has to be visible to all and experienced by the worker even in the most highly advanced technical systems. John Paul II recognizes the great help to human flourishing that technology can provide, but he also implicitly recognizes the incomplete understanding we have of the relationship between technology and work when he says, equally, however, the lively development of these techniques, that is technology, has raised and continues to raise questions of great importance concerning the relationship of work to the subject, man himself. Of peculiar importance is the extent to which these questions throw up problems and disputes in the field of ethics and social ethics, which constitute a challenge for many kinds of institutions. The importance of job design from the perspective of laborium exercise follows directly from these principles. One of the encyclical's central tenets is the priority of labor over capital. Human labor is prior to or more basic than capital in the production of goods and services. so that it ought not to be treated merely as one more factor of production alongside capital. When one stops to think about this, it is logical that human activity comes before capital, since without it, capital would not get applied to productive effort. Capital does not have a will of its own. Putting this into the practical terms of job design would mean that, if anything, the technical equipment of a production process needs to be designed around the workers who will be working in it, and not the other way around. In business practice, however, we largely see things working in the opposite direction, where people are just slotted in to fill gaps between machines. Such practice is clearly premised on the maximization of return on capital rather than on the promotion of the common good via human development. Furthermore, we are called to work, and in a sense, it defines and define ourselves in it. We express and develop part of what it means to be in the image of God through working creatively and responsibly in a God-like way, using our talents and abilities in a fully human way. A further consequence of understanding work as a calling is that it implies the presence of the other and service to that person as part of what it means to work. If we are called to do something, someone other than ourselves must be calling us. It is primarily God who calls. But since each person is made in God's image, and because Jesus is recorded as saying, "As you did it to one of the least of these my brethren, you did it me," that inevitably involves our service to the human community around us. The communal and service aspects of our work can be considered as part of the solidarity that we should be promoting between all the members of the business. Translating this into practical job terms, we could say that the possibility to serve others in our work, and in general, the kind of relationships we have with others through our work, are important considerations to keep in mind that the job design process. All these discussions bring us back to the way work is involved in social structures and the social question. All that we have drawn out of Laborem exercise so far with regard to job design can be summed up by saying that the subjective dimension of work needs to be included, and in a certain sense considered as a central factor in designing and organizing work. In doing so, we will include the moral and spiritual needs of the person, along with the consideration of the kinds of relationships our job design permits. It should be those of service informed by mutual love and respect within work. Work must be an activity in which the person is seen and felt to be the subject, that is, the active agent, who both transitively accomplishes a task through working on objects and reflexively accomplishes her own development by deploying and developing specifically human powers. Thus, in John Paul II's words, the primary purpose of any kind of work that man does is always man himself, so that man does not serve work, but work serves man. Job design in the perspective of Laborem exercens implies an insistence on the primacy of the person throughout the work process, so that at no point is human development instrumentalized for economic gain. Now let's move to the ideas of Svetlana Dudenko, who is Ukrainian artist, the lecturer at the State Academy of Design and Arts in the city of Kharkiv. And in her interview during the exhibition of her works in Rome, she said about work that each type of work, whether physical, scientific, or creative, has a specific purpose, because without a goal we cannot see any road or path in life. I am a lecturer in monumental art, and the essence of monumental art is a particular idea. The idea behind my work is to convey to humanity that Ukraine is a great state, that it is a friend of the European Union, that it is a peaceful country and cares about peace. And right now, it is shadowing the sky from gunfire. The peaceful Ukrainian initiatives are connected to love for humanity. When we look at the paintings of Svetlana Dudenko, one realizes that they are all bright, and if they radiate goodness, hope, and reflect a beautiful, perhaps even otherworldly reality. Even those paintings that speak of war still leave much space for light. When she was asked why there are so few dark colors even in such dark times, she responded, I am an artist and a lecturer in monumental art. For example, when you are a doctor, you cannot tell a sick person that they are gravely ill and that their end is near. No, you must give them hope. I give hope through color. Through the themes, I believe my work directs people towards faith, love, hope, and the fight for the light. That's why my paintings are like this. Doctors say that creativity always saves. Creativity is not necessarily paintings. Creativity can also be embroidery, knitting, cooking. People need to work, and while working, they should think that it will be beautiful, that it will be good, because motor skills are given to us from above. We are obliged to create with our hands and not to keep them idle. We must set a goal for ourselves, even if it's a small one, and achieve it. Write something, paint something, do something for children, even if it's pancakes. But all of this is creativity, and this should be our crown, the thing that unites and saves us. Our salvation lies in labor, in work, and I advise everyone when we all work together, we will win. To conclude, I want to share with you a special poem that inspires me to dream big, and I hope it will also inspire you. It was written by the prominent Ukrainian poet Lena Kostenko, who is one of the Ukraine's foremost literary figures. With her talent and hard work, she is often referred to as a modern queen of Ukrainian poetry. She has a dream of flying, and I will share with you her work about it. In truth, the wind need no land. Without the ground, there will be the sky. Without fog, there will be clouds. Without land, there will be freedom. In this perhaps is the avian truth. And what about humans? They live on land and do not fly. Still they have wings. They truly do. Those wings, instead of quills and fluff, are made of virtue, trust, and truth. Some have wings of faithful love, some of endless aspiration, some of empathy and action, some of zeal and pride in work, some of poetry and song, of art, hope, dreams, and passion. They do not fly, or so it seems, but they have wings. They do have wings. Thank you so much, dear friends. May God bless you all.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ivana, for your very beautiful, thoughtful, insightful words. And really, really thank you for bringing this, all this different perspective to all of us. I mean, to the entire world. Thank you, really. Well, I invite you all now. Well, before inviting you all, I would really like to thank to all of these important people who were here, this beautiful women. Thank you so much to Marcia. Thank you so much to Olena, Valentina Erasmo, Diletta, also Luchia, Rebecca, Daria, and Ivana. Thank you from deep of our hearts, from the entire working group. So we will now take a very quick break for you to have a coffee, for you to grab a cup of coffee and stretch your legs, and we will be right back. Don't leave us, okay? Stay tuned. We will be right back in just a couple of minutes. See you in a while.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for taking the time to have a coffee or something to drink. Now I will read some text from Gabriela Mistral, and I will read it in Spanish. But first of all, I would like to say that Gabriela Mistral was Chilean, and now I will jump in Spanish. Gabriela Mistral fue una de las poetas más importantes del siglo XX, maestra rural y educadora, y consiguió uno de los galardones más importantes en la literatura universal, y su obra ha sido traducida a más de 20 idiomas. Ella tiene una obra llamada Motivos de San Francisco, hablando también de Economía de Francesco. Y voy a empezar a leer algunas de sus lecturas. La madre. Comentario de su vida. Hay que empezar, como en el Evangelio del otro pobrecillo, por la alabanza tuya, Madre de Francisco, María Italiana. Fuiste tú, Madonna Pica, la que cuajó en sus entrañas este grumo tan suave de carnes que se llamó Francisco de Asís. Venías de Provenza y bajaste al valle de la Umbría. En la mocedad te batieron sus robustos vientos y caminaste entre olivares y las viñas muy bíblicas de tu país. Llevarías un cántaro al hombro, como esas mujeres que yo miro bajar al lago y a las cuales da el ánfora que roza la mejilla la forma de algunas flores de corola bipartida. Por el contraste de su rudeza con tu gracia, se posaron en ti los ojos de aquel rudísimo Pedro Bernardone. Alabo tu seno hecho cenizas. Su yema pura hizo el contorno de la boca de Francisco. La delicada boca para las canciones. Tu leche de mujer, bebedora de soles, debió ser magnífica. Lo sustentaste con exceso. Y así tuvo él esa rica juventud, intensa como una púrpura. Nosotros nos conformamos con besar arrodillado su polvo. Tú, dichosa, le tuviste acostado en el pecho miles de noches. Le hiciste con tus harinas esos dientecillos finos y blancos que le daban una sonrisa feliz. Tú le pusiste la rica sangre que en su corazón se hizo tremenda caridad. Muchas líneas de su cuerpo serían tuyas, y puede llamársete por esto copa de Dios. Tú le enseñaste a hablar, y de ti, no del Bernardone, le vino ese dejo de dulzura que le reunía a los pájaros en torno, como si sus palabras fueran alpistes y cañamones dorados. Y tú le hiciste jugar. Redondeabas el montoncito de arena rubia que él desbarataba y volvía a hacer. Así le enseñabas formas y formas, y le hacías el ojo amador de la gracia. Su deseo de cantar fue cosa que le vino también sobre tus rodillas. Mujer dichosa, buena para dar en un hijo cantador una lengua de alegría al mundo triste. Tú, cristiana, le deslizaste en los 7 años dóciles de la infancia a tu Cristo, como una gota de miel imperceptible por los oídos, y se lo hiciste tan familiar como el pliegue de tu cuello. Y su humildad, su embriaguez de humildades, No le vendría de mirarte hacer tus trabajos de la casa, el lavado de tus pisos, el barrido de tu comedor, buena esposa de mercader, que nada de esto desdeñarías. Yo te alabo tu falta de arrebatos, cuando te llevaron los hipócritas para irritarte la alarma de la mocedad tan ardiente de tu Francisco. Les oías con calma y sonreías solamente diciendo que con tu tiempo se habría de volver un buen hijo del Señor. Y vino el día, pero trayéndote, pobre Madonna Pica, otra tribulación no más, porque tu Francisco dejó caer de sus manos de repente todos los regalos de la vida, hasta tu misma ternura, y se fue por los caminos a pordiosear. Las comadres asombradas te llevaron el nuevo escándalo, sin alterar tu larga dulzura. Te damos gracias por esa fuentecita de alimentos que a escondidas del terrible Bernardone mandabas a tu loquillo a la cueva, y por aquella fina astucia para hacerlo escapar del encierro del mercader. Te han agradecido los valles, esas manos tan amantes que tú diste para regar su campo. Los pájaros, la lengua con una canción nueva que pusiste en el viento, y los pobres te agradecerán siempre al vendador. Todo él una vendilla para el mundo herido. Ahora estás en el cielo al lado de María y cerca de la madre de San Julián, el hospitalario, y sonreirás con una eterna sonrisa. Dos leyendas. Hay dos leyendas que por su belleza merecerían ser verdad sobre el nacimiento del niño. El pueblo verá en su vida paralelismo tal como la de Cristo. ¿Qué querrá hacer absoluta la semejanza? La exageración que encontramos en las leyendas heroicas. Dice el hambre sublime de los humildes. Los letrados trabajan royendo el hecho sobrenatural. Aseguran que analizan con una limpia intención de hallar la verdad. Pero suele aparecer su mente menguada. Sus vasos son pequeños y no quieren que les sean rebasados. La llamada plebe teje, por el contrario, el poema en torno de los que fueron mejores que ella. Está muy desposeída y sin embargo no conoce envidia. Y aumenta su material de adoración. Está en ellos menos empañada la memoria de lo divino. Y cuando encuentran algo semejante, lo hospedan fácilmente. Una leyenda es esta. Vinieron a la madre los dolores del parto, y sufrimiento se prolongaba contra la naturaleza. Pica se revolvía en el lecho entre lamentos. Podría decirse que la carne se negaba a entregar a ese que la superaría. Entonces golpeó a la puerta un peregrino y dijo que la madre no daría a luz mientras no se le sacase de su lecho suntuoso y se la transportase al establo de la casa. Así se hizo. Se la puso en el heno pisoteado, entre las vacas que mugían mirando la agitación del nacimiento, y los asnos que miraban a la enferma en sus grandes ojos negros. La otra leyenda es la del bautizo del niño. Estaba todo preparado y la comitiva brillante ya iba a salir, cuando golpeó al portal un segundo peregrino, más polvo y vejez que vestidos. Dijo que quería sostener la cabeza del recién nacido en la pila bautismal. Volvió a aceptar Pica, que viene a ser obediente a la gracia, como la otra madre. Y el cuerpecito fue sostenido por el vagabundo, entre el asombro de los burgueses que vieron aguada su fiesta con semejante presencia. La Iglesia no defiende la autenticidad de los dos relatos. La dan los biógrafos solo por conceder sitio a estos dos frescos candorosos. Es también en la puerta de una vida que la ingenuidad humedece, en cada episodio como un largo rocío. El nombre. Fue dado al niño el nombre de Juan, pero el Bernardone, a su regreso, lo llamó Francisco. Más grato hubiera sido el primer nombre, traspasado de sentido religioso para el cristianismo por el bautista, que preparó los caminos, y por el evangelista, esa Dalia roja del Nuevo Testamento. Pero Bernardone no entendía la cosa profunda que es un nombre. El nombre que preside la vida y que debe fundirse con nuestra mirada y con nuestro gesto. Según los comentaristas, el Bernardone quiso tener en el niño un recuerdo de la Francia que había sido su mercado. Le llamó pues Francisco, nombre en aquel tiempo debió extrañar tanto, tanto como si hoy llamáramos a un niño egipcio o absinio. Una sola cosa feliz hubo en la ocurrencia, dar nombre nuevo a este verdadero hombre nuevo. Gracias.
Gracias, Marcia. Thank you so much. This is so beautiful. Thank you for your participation and for bringing these beautiful words for us. Well, we will now move to Mozambique. We will have a beautiful message from Sadia Mendes, EoF participant. She's gonna speak both in English and Portuguese, and the title of her intervention is Além do que vês, tu és. She will explain about it. Let's just share here. One second. Here we go.
A woman, daughter, sister, mother, wife. The figure of woman in economics has been noted since the origin of economic science. Let's go back to the original term economy. It's a Greek word made up of oikos, which means house, and nomos, which means administration, organization, or distribution. The word economy also derives from the Latin economia, which means disposition, order, or arrangement. In short, in its origin, economy was the heart of the good housekeeper. What is the icon figure of a housekeeper? That's right, the woman. I bring to you a poetic text that places the figure of the woman at the heart of personal finance and behind. Let's reflect. I will do this in Portuguese, but you can follow me in English in the screen. Let's go. A mulher sabe as suas finanças. Com mãos diligentes planta e colhe. Do fruto do seu labor reparte e poupa. Como o sol que desponta e não se atrasa, ela busca o bem e não a derrota. Sabe que a casa é solo sagrado, edifica com amor, prudência e verdade. Não gasta com futilidade ou vaidade, mas investe com fé e prosperidade. Seu coração repousa em promessas eternas. Não teme o futuro, pois sabe em quem crê. A formiga ensina com a sua prudência, guardar na colheita sem medo do que vem. A moeda que tem não é só sua, divide com graça, espalha a bondade, pois sabe que quem ao pobre assiste será sustentado com prosperidade. Do campo compra, da vinha cuida, trabalha com força e se mantém de pé. O ouro e a prata não são seu tesouro, mas a sabedoria que vem da fé. Planeja o orçamento, define metas, evita dívidas e gastos vãos. Aprende a investir com inteligência, multiplicando recursos com suas mãos. Mantém reserva para tempos difíceis, pois a prudência guia a sua gestão. Busca conhecimento, estuda o mercado e faz da educação seu alicerce e chão. Não teme os tempos, nem as crises. Vem de Deus. E mesmo que falte o pão na mesa, seu coração descansa, firme nos seus. Ensina aos filhos, ao esposo guia, com palavras doces e olhar de paz. Sua lâmpada brilha pela noite afora. Seu exemplo vive e sempre refaz. E assim segue a mulher virtuosa, com esperança, firme na direção. Suas finanças são apenas um meio para cumprir sua bela missão. It doesn't matter your status, doesn't matter your culture. There is a driving force that won't let you give up. Happy Women's Day.
Thank you, muito obrigado, Sadia. Sua contribuição muito especial. O vídeo que preparaste está lindíssimo. Muito obrigado por estar sempre presente e poder contribuir, trazendo um pouco da nossa língua portuguesa para este mundo. Muito obrigado de todo o coração. Thank you so much for bringing a little of our Portuguese language to the world. Thank you. Thank you. We really appreciate. Well, we will now move forward. We will now listen to, I am sorry, I don't know if I'm pronouncing correctly her name. It's Naji Mabi. She will present herself. It's easier. She's from Ivory Coast, and she will be presenting in English, okay? Her text is about women, architects of the future global economy. Let's play her here. Here we go.
My name is Anji Mabi, and I am an entrepreneur in Ivory Coast, and also I am a university lecturer in the business department. When we talk about the future of our global economy, we're not just discussing numbers and growth charts. We're talking about human potential, innovation, and transformative power of women's leadership and vision. I've witnessed firsthand how women are not just participants in the economy landscape. They are in its architects, innovators, and primary drivers of sustainable change. For example, from grassroots entrepreneurs in developing countries to tech innovators in the Silicon Valley, women are really redefining what economic success looks like. Consider this, for example, let's take an example. Women-owned business and growing faster than any other segment of commercial express globally. We're not just filling gaps with the women, we are creating entire ecosystems of economic opportunity. In developing nations, for example, women reinvest up to 90% of their earnings back into their communities, compared to just 30 to 40% for men. This isn't just an economic statistic. It's a profound strategy for holistic community development. Now, women also, I have noticed, bring unique perspective to solving problems. We approach challenges with collaborative intelligence, long-term thinking, and why not empathy. In fields like sustainable technology, healthcare, and social entrepreneurship, women are pioneering solutions that don't just generate profit, but create meaningful, systematic change. Every girl educated is an entire community transformed. That is what we say in Africa. When we invest in a woman's education, for example, we're not just supporting individual dreams, we're unlocking generational economic potential. Women with education start businesses, make informed financial decisions, and above all, create ripple effects of prosperity that extend far beyond themselves. Women are not only at the front line of emerging technologies, artificial intelligence, renewable energy, biotechnology. We are not just at the front line, but we are not just also participants in this field. We are leading them. By bringing diverse perspectives and inclusive design principles, women are ensuring that technological process serves everyone, not just a privileged few. Now, I'd like to end by saying that our economic future is not just about competition, it's about collaboration. It's about recognizing that when we elevate a woman, we elevate the entire societies. We're not asking for a seat at the table, but we are redesigning the entire room. To every woman watching me, your innovation matters. Your vision matters. Your economic contribution isn't just important, it is essential. That's what I tell my students every day. Together, we're not just changing the economy, we are reimagining what's possible. A hopeful economic future isn't something that happens to us. It's something we create together. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Angie. Thank you for this beautiful intervention from your perspective. Well, I would now want to really thank for these women. And in this part now, we had Sadia, we have Marcia. Let's repeat. We had Marcia from Peru, we had Sadia from Mozambique, and now Angie from Ivory Coast. We will now go to Egypt, and we're gonna listen to Sama Kades, who's gonna bring to us Nawal El Sadawi, a brief biography and her struggles. Let's listen to her. Sorry, just a second. All right, now we are ready to go.
Hello everyone, I am Samah from Egypt. Today I'm gonna share a text from our famous writer, Nawal Saadawi. I'm gonna speak about her briefly. Nawal Saadawi, she was born in 1931. She was doctor, writer, and women's rights activist who spent her life fighting for women's freedom. And because of her strong opinions, she was put in prison in 1981. She wrote about her experience in her book Memories from the Women's Prison. And being jailed was just another part of her long fight against unfair treatment and injustice. She came out of prison stronger than before, with a louder voice and hope that could not be broken. I prefer to continue reading in Arabic because I would like to use the same words that she used in her book. Also because she used a really strong expression to express herself. Let's get started. عندما أغلق باب الزنزانة خلفي شعرت أن عالمي القديم قد انتهى، لكن في داخلي كنت أعرف أن هذه الجدران لن تستطيع أن تحبس فكري، أن تمنعني من أن أحلم، من أن أتصور عالمًا آخر يكون أكثر عدلًا، حيث لا تضطهد المرأة لمجرد كونها امرأة. في تلك اللحظات كنت أرى الأمل كضوء صغير يتسلل من خلال شقوق الجدران، يتحدى العتمة ويصر على البقاء. تعلمت في السجن أن الأمل ليس وهمًا، بل هو سلاح، فحينما تحرم المرأة من حقوقها، حينما يقال لها أن مسيرها مكتوب ولا مجال لتغييره، يصبح الأمل هو المفتاح الأول لكسر القيود. أذكر أنني سألت نفسي يومها: لماذا نخاف من أن نكون أحرارًا؟ ولماذا تعلمنا المجتمعات أن المرأة الصامتة هي المرأة الفاضلة، وأن المرأة القوية هي المرأة المذنبة؟ كانت الأيام تمر ببطء، والزنزانة كانت ضيقة، كأنها تريد أن تخنقني. كنت أسمع أصوات السجينات حولي، بعضهن يبكين وبعضهن يصرخن في وجه الظلم. لكن وسط ذاك كله رأيت وجوها لم ينكسر فيها الأمل، نساء فقيرات لم يعرفن سوى القهر طوال حياتهن، ولكنهن رغم ذلك كن أكثر جرأة من أي وقت مضى. رأيت امرأة سجنت لأنها دافعت عن حقها في الميراث، وأخرى لأنها رفضت الزواج القسري، وثالثة لأنها طالبت بالعدالة لأطفالها. كنت أرى في أعينهن النور رغم العتمة، والأمل رغم اليأس. لم أكن وحدي في هذه الليالي الطويلة. كنت أسمع همسات النساء يحكين لبعضهن البعض القصص عن أحلام لم تكتمل، عن حب مات قبل أن يولد، عن حرية لم تعط لهن يوما. كنت أتساءل هل يعقل أن يكون هذا العالم عادلا يوما؟ ولكني كنت أعرف الإجابة، فالعدل لا يعطى بل ينتزع. لم يكن معي سوى أقلام وأوراق قليلة، لكنها كانت أغلى ما أملك. كنت أكتب كل ليلة، أكتب عن السجن الذي لم يكن مجرد جدران، بل كان عقليات، كانت عادات، كانت قوانين كتبت بيد الرجال لمصلحة الرجال. كنت أكتب عن أمل لا يموت، عن نساء رفضن أن يكون مصيرهن الطاعة والخضوع. كنت أكتب لأن الكتابة كانت السلاح الوحيد الذي لم يستطع السجان أن يأخذه مني. وفي السجن لم أفقد قدرتي على الحلم والأمل، والعاصفة أيضا حين أريد. الأمل عندي يجمح نحو القاع أحيانا، يدخل في بطن الأرض ثم يشد نفسه من جوف الحوت، ويجمح باتجاه الأغصان، ويطير في السماء كالعصفور. أدركت أني لم أكن وحيدة في هذه المعركة. النساء حولي كن جزءا من نضال يمتد عبر الزمن، عبر أجيال من النساء اللواتي رفضن الاستسلام. كنت أعلم أن السجن لم يكن سوى محطة في طريق طويل، وأن الحرية ليست مجرد خروج من الزنزانة، بل هي التحرر من كل القيود التي تفرض على النساء. نساء لن يستسلمن حتى. كنت أعلم أن الأمل قد تسلل عبر جدران الزنزانة، وإنه لن يتوقف عندي. في إحدى الليالي سمعت صوت سجينة شابة تهمس لي عبر القضبان: اكتبي عنا، اكتبي عن ظلمهم، لا تدعي أحد ينسى ما يحدث هنا. كانت كلماتها توقظني كل ليلة، تذكرني بأني هنا ليس فقط لأني كتبت، ولكن لأكتب بالأكثر. والكلمات على ورق ماذا تطلق؟ السجن مكان راقد، لكن الإنسان داخل السجن لا يكون راقدا. داخل السجن يعرف الإنسان اللون الحقيقي لكل الأشياء، ويكتشف الإنسان أجمل الألوان وأجمل البشر، بل وأبقح البشر أيضا. إلا أن شيئا واحدا يكتسح كل الألوان: الأمل بانكسار الأبواب والقضبان والأقفال والانطلاق في الجو كعصفور يغرد. كيف يستطيع الأمل أن يكون قويا عندي؟ وكيف يجد الإنسان الأمل ويشعر به؟ ولا أستطيع أن أنام وأنا أدرك أن قنبلة ستضرب حتما في مكان قريب. لا أستطيع أن أنام وأحلم أني سعيدة لمدة 24 ساعة دون أن يقطع ذلك الحلم صوت رصاص. صراعات في الخارج والداخل، وداخلي أيضا تتلاطم، تجعلني أقول أشياء أعيشها بشكل جنوني، وأقولها الآن لكلمات تبدو لي صغيرة لا تعني شيئا، ومع ذلك كل يوم أنام وأصحو أحلم بالثورة. ففي الزنزانة اكتشفت أن الخوف أكبر من سجن يمكن أن نعيش فيه، ولكني تعلمت أن من يواجه خوفه يتحرر منه. لم أعد أخاف من الظلام لأني أدركت أن النور يسكن داخلي. لم أعد أخاف من السلطة لأني رأيت المرأة التي تجرؤ على قول الحقيقة أقوى من 1000 رجل يحاولون إسكاتها. امرأة أنا، نعم، وحياتي كلها كانت صعبة منذ ولدت حتى دخلت السجن. رغم صعوبتها لم يتغير قلبي. لم أستطع أن أشك في الإنسان، والإنسان عني بريء. الإنسان لم يخلق شريرا، ولا تنطوي طبيعتها على الشر. الدكتاتورية التي تحرسني وتحمل مفاتيح زنزانتي وثقت فيها من أول لحظة لي. حدث مخيف أعيش به منذ الطفولة، كبر معي وما زال يكبر. أرى أكثر مما يطيقه المجتمع، ويعد السجن وبعد السجن. ماذا يبقى يفعلوه معي؟ ولكني ما زلت غير راضية عن كتاباتي، فأنا لا أكتب بشكل حر أو بالحرية التي أريدها. عشت في عالم يفضل الكذب على كل شيء، وفي السياسة، في الاجتماع، في الأخلاق، في الفن والعلم. خلق فيه الناس من يملكون الكتب ولا يقرؤون، والذين يقرؤون منهم لا يفكرون بعقولهم وإنما بعقول غيرهم. يبتهج الواحد منهم حين يقول إنه صديق الحاكم، أو أن الحاكم قال له هكذا. لم أعثر على واحد منهم ينتمي لذاته. يفعلون في الخفاء ما لا يستطيعون يفعل في العلن، ويكتبون ما لا يعيشون. أشعر بالغرابة حين أراهم، أو حتى حين أرى أسمائهم. أما أنا فأكتب ما أعيش. أنا إنسان قرر وعاش. أنا أكتب ما أعيش. أنا امرأة قررت ما تريد، عاشت ما تريد، وأصبحت لنفسي وللناس. أصبحت أملك جزءا من السماء لأني أستطيع أن أحلم. اليوم وبعد عقود من خروجي من السجن تبقى كلمات شاهدة على نضال المرأة ضد القهر والظلم. ربما لم تنتهي هي القيود بعد، وربما لا تزال هناك نساء خلف الأسوار، ولكن الأمل لم يمت. هذا هو الدرس الأكبر: أن الأمل لا يمنح بل يصنع، وأن الحرية ليست هدية بل معركة يجب أن تخاض كل يوم. إن كنت لا تستطيع أن تصرخ فاكتب، وإن كنت لا تستطيع أن تكتب ففكر، وإن كنت لا تستطيع أن تفكر فلا تستسلم أبدا. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, Sama. All right. Okay. Back to us here. Thank you, Sama. This is a beautiful, beautiful text. All right. Thank you for your participation from Egypt. We will now move forward once again. Spinning the world. We are coming. Oh, let me just close here just a second. Too much technology. We are now coming to Brazil. We heard Portuguese once. Now we're going to hear Portuguese once again. So I would like to welcome Joana Batista. Muito bem-vinda. She's going to present, let me open here once again. She's going to present Kate Raworth, Donut Economics, 7 Ways to Think Like a 21st Century Economist, in Portuguese. So I would switch to Portuguese. Muito obrigado, Gi. Muito obrigado, Joana, por estar aqui conosco. O palco é todo seu, o microfone é todo seu. Espero que você se divirta e aproveite muito esse espaço. Bem-vinda.
Bom dia, Henrique. Bom dia a todos. Obrigada. Vou falar, então, sobre a economia Donut, uma alternativa ao crescimento a qualquer custo, de Kate Raworth. Mudar o objetivo. Por mais de 70 anos, a economia esteve fixada no PIB, Produto Interno Bruto, ou Produção Nacional, como medida básica de progresso. Essa fixação tem sido usada para justificar desigualdades extremas de renda e riqueza, conjugadas a uma destruição sem precedentes do mundo vivo. Para o século XXI, é necessária uma meta muito maior: atender aos direitos humanos de cada pessoa dentro dos meios do nosso planeta gerador de vida. E a meta está encapsulada no conceito do Donut. O desafio agora é criar economias, no âmbito local e global, que ajudem a trazer toda a humanidade para o espaço seguro e justo do Donut. Em vez de perseguir um PIB sempre crescente, é hora de descobrir como prosperar em equilíbrio. Analisar o quadro geral. A corrente econômica dominante retrata a economia como um todo, com apenas uma imagem, extremamente limitada: o diagrama do fluxo circular. Suas limitações, além disso, têm sido usadas para reforçar a narrativa neoliberal acerca da eficiência do mercado, a incompetência do Estado, a domesticidade do agregado familiar e a tragédia dos bens comuns. É hora de fazer um novo desenho da economia, integrando-a no centro da sociedade e da natureza, tendo o sol como fonte de energia. Essa nova representação convida a novas narrativas sobre o poder do mercado, a parceria do Estado, o papel central do agregado familiar e a criatividade dos bens comuns. Estimular a natureza humana. No coração da economia do século XX, encontra-se o retrato do homem econômico racional. Ele nos diz que somos egoístas, solitários, calculistas, pouco afeitos a mudanças, e que dominamos a natureza e moldou as pessoas em quem nos transformamos. Mas a natureza humana é muito mais rica do que isso, como revelam os primeiros esboços do nosso novo autorretrato. Somos sociais, interdependentes, próximos, fluidos em matéria de valores e dependentes do mundo vivo. Além disso, é de fato possível estimular a natureza humana de maneiras que aumentem consideravelmente nossas chances de entrar no espaço seguro e justo do Donut. Compreender o funcionamento dos sistemas. O icônico cruzamento das curvas de oferta e demanda do mercado é o primeiro diagrama com que todo estudante de economia se depara. Mas tem como base metáforas equivocadas de equilíbrio mecânico do século XIX. Um ponto de partida muito mais inteligente para compreender o dinamismo da economia é o pensamento sistêmico, resumindo por um simples par de circuitos de feedback. Colocar essa dinâmica no cerne da economia possibilita muitas perspectivas novas, da expansão e falência dos mercados financeiros, a natureza autorreforçadora da desigualdade econômica e os pontos de inflexão das mudanças climáticas. É hora de parar de procurar pelas ilusórias alavancas de controle da economia e começar a administrá-la como um sistema complexo, sempre em evolução. Projetar para distribuir. No século XX, uma curva simples, a curva de Kuznets, insinuava uma mensagem poderosa sobre a desigualdade. As coisas precisam piorar antes de melhorar. O crescimento, eventualmente, a equilibrará. Mas acontece que desigualdade não é uma necessidade econômica, é uma falha de projeto. Os economistas do século XXI reconhecerão que há muitas maneiras de projetar economias de modo que sejam muito mais distributivas do valor que geram. Uma ideia mais bem representada como uma rede de fluxos. Isso significa ir além da redistribuição de renda, para explorar modos de redistribuir a riqueza, em especial aquela que reside no controle de terras, empreendimentos, tecnologias, conhecimentos e no poder de criar dinheiro. Criar para regenerar. A teoria econômica tem há muito retratado um meio ambiente limpo, como um bem de luxo, acessível apenas aos mais abastados. Essa visão era reforçada pela curva ambiental de Kuznets, que mais uma vez insinuava que a população precisa piorar antes de melhorar, e que o crescimento, eventualmente, a limpará. Mas essa lei não existe. A degradação ecológica é simplesmente resultado de uma concepção industrial degenerativa. Este século precisa de um pensamento econômico que desencadeie uma concepção regenerativa para criar uma economia circular, não linear, e restaurar os seres humanos como participantes plenos no processo cíclico na vida da Terra. Ser agnóstico em relação ao crescimento. Há um diagrama da teoria econômica que é tão perigoso que nunca é realmente desenhado. A trajetória de crescimento do PIB em longo prazo. A corrente dominante da economia vê o crescimento econômico interminável como uma obrigação, mas nada na natureza cresce para sempre. E a tentativa de impor essa tendência está levando duras questões em países de alta renda, mas baixo crescimento. Talvez não seja difícil desistir do crescimento do PIB como objetivo econômico, mas será muito mais difícil superar a dependência que temos dele. Hoje em dia, temos economias que precisam crescer, quer nos façam ou não prosperar. O que precisamos é de economias que nos façam prosperar, cresçam elas ou não. Essa mudança radical de perspectiva nos convida a nos tornarmos agnósticos em relação ao crescimento e a explorar como economias que hoje em dia estão financeira, política e socialmente dependentes do crescimento poderiam aprender a viver com ou sem ele. Essas 7 maneiras de pensar como um economista do século XXI não apresentam receitas específicas de políticas nem dilemas institucionais. Não prometem respostas imediatas para o que fazer em seguida e não são a resposta completa. Mas estou convencida de que são fundamentais para a maneira radicalmente diferente de pensar sobre a economia que este século exige. Seus princípios e padrões equiparão novos pensadores econômicos e o economista que existe em cada um de nós, permitindo que eles comecem a criar uma economia que possibilite a prosperidade de todos. Dada a rapidez, escala e incerteza das mudanças que enfrentaremos nos próximos anos, seria temerário tentar prescrever agora todas as políticas e instituições que serão adequadas para o futuro. A próxima geração de pensadores e executantes estará muito mais bem posicionada para experimentar e descobrir o que funciona à medida que o contexto for mudando. O que podemos fazer agora e devemos fazer bem é reunir o melhor das ideias que emergem e, assim, criar uma nova mentalidade econômica que nunca será estática, mas sempre em evolução. A tarefa para os pensadores econômicos, nas décadas por vir, será juntar na prática essas 7 maneiras de pensar e acrescentar a elas muitas outras. Mal começamos nossa aventura de repensar a economia. Junte-se à tripulação. Do crescimento sem fim para a prosperidade no equilíbrio. Para frente e para cima. Pode ser uma metáfora extremamente familiar para o progresso. mas em termos de economia que conhecemos, tem nos conduzido para um terreno perigoso. A humanidade pode afetar o funcionamento de seus próprios sistemas de apoio à vida, diz a oceanógrafa Catherine Richardson. A ponto de inflexão que estamos forçando. Como isso altera a nossa definição de progresso? Por mais de 60 anos, o pensamento econômico nos disse que o crescimento do PIB era uma representação bastante boa do progresso e que tinha o aspecto de uma curva sempre crescente. Mas este século exige de uma forma e direção de progresso bem diferentes. Nesse ponto da história humana, o movimento que melhor descreve o progresso de que necessitamos é alcançar um equilíbrio dinâmico, passando para dentro do espaço seguro e justo do donut, eliminando ao mesmo tempo tanto a escassez quanto o excesso. Isso requer uma profunda mudança em nossas metáforas de o bom é para frente e para cima, para o bom é o equilíbrio. Isso muda a imagem do progresso econômico de um interminável crescimento do PIB para a prosperidade no equilíbrio dentro do donut. A imagem do donut e a ciência por trás dela pode ser nova, mas o senso de equilíbrio dinâmico que ela invoca está em sintonia com décadas de pensamento sobre desenvolvimento sustentável. A ideia da Terra como uma espaçonave, uma cápsula viva autossuficiente, ganhou popularidade da década de 1960, levando o economista Robert Hillbroder a ressaltar que, como todas as espaçonaves, a vida sustentada exige que se mantenha um meticuloso equilíbrio entre a capacidade do veículo de sustentar a vida e as demandas feitas pelos habitantes da nave. Na década de 1970, a economista Barbara Ward, uma pioneira do desenvolvimento sustentável, clamou por uma ação global para abordar tanto os limites internos das necessidades e dos direitos humanos, quanto os limites externos, da pressão ambiental que a Terra é capaz de suportar. Ela está efetivamente desenhando o donut com palavras em vez de uma caneta. Mais tarde, nos anos de 1990, a organização ativista Friends of the Earth advogou o conceito de espaço ambiental, argumentando que todas as pessoas têm direito a uma porção equitativa de água, alimento, ar, terra e outros recursos dentro da capacidade de sustentação da Terra. No fim de 2011, durante os preparativos para uma importante conferência das Nações Unidas sobre Desenvolvimento Sustentável, dirigi-me à ONU em Nova York para apresentar o donut, a representante de uma ampla gama de países, a fim de avaliar sua reação ao modelo. Primeiro, reuni-me com os argentinos, uma vez que presidiam na época o grupo dos 77, o maior bloco negociador de países em desenvolvimento na ONU. Enquanto explicava o donut, a negociadora argentina, ela bateu firmemente com o dedo na imagem e disse: sempre pensei no desenvolvimento sustentável dessa maneira. Só gostaria que os europeus também o vissem dessa forma. Então, no dia seguinte, fui com curiosidade apresentar o donut a uma sala cheia de representantes europeus. Uma vez projetado o donut na tela e explicada a sua ideia central, o oficial britânico pediu a palavra. Isso é interessante, disse ele. Estamos sempre ouvindo os latinos americanos falarem Pachamama e achamos tudo isso um pouco fofo demais, prosseguiu, gesticulando com as mãos como que para ilustrar. Mas percebo que essa é uma maneira com base científica de dizer algo que na realidade não é tão diferente. Às vezes, as imagens podem servir de ponte sobre um fosso que as palavras não conseguem cruzar. Considerando o quanto já estamos longe do equilíbrio, transgredindo ambos os lados do donut, recuperá-lo é uma tarefa desencorajadora. Somos a primeira geração a saber que estamos minando a capacidade do sistema terrestre de sustentar o desenvolvimento humano, afirma Johan Rockstrom. Essa é uma percepção nova e profunda, e é potencialmente muito assustadora. E é também um privilégio, porque isso significa que somos a primeira geração a saber que agora estamos conduzindo uma transformação para navegar rumo a um futuro globalmente sustentável. Imagine então se a nossa geração pudesse ser a geração da virada, aquela que começasse a colocar a humanidade nos trilhos para esse futuro. E se cada um mapeasse mentalmente a sua própria vida com base no Dunnett, perguntando a si mesmo: como é que a maneira através da qual faço compras, como viajo, ganho vida, uso banco, voo e atuo como voluntário, afeta o meu impacto pessoal sobre os limites sociais e planetários? E se toda empresa concebesse sua estratégia em torno de uma mesa Dunnett, perguntando a si mesma: nossa marca é uma marca Dunnett, cujo negócio central ajuda a trazer a humanidade para dentro deste espaço seguro e justo? Imagine se os ministros da economia dos países do G20, representando as economias mais poderosas do mundo, se reunissem em torno de uma mesa de conferência em forma de Dunnett para discutir como projetar um sistema financeiro global que servisse para trazer a humanidade para este ponto ideal. Seriam conversações capazes de mudar o mundo. Em algumas empresas e comunidades, tais conversações estão efetivamente em andamento. Do Reino Unido à África do Sul, a Oxfam tem publicado relatórios Dunnett nacionais, revelando o quanto cada nação está longe de viver dentro de um espaço seguro e justo nacionalmente definido. Na província de Yunnan, na China, cientistas pesquisadores fizeram uma análise Dunnett dos impactos sociais e ecológicos da indústria e da lavoura em torno do lago Errai, a primeira fonte de água da região. Empresas que vão desde a Patagônia, fabricante americana de roupas, para atividades ao ar livre, ao supermercado Sainsbury's no Reino Unido, têm usado o Dunnett para ajudar a repensar suas estratégias corporativas. Em Kokstad, na África do Sul, a cidade do crescimento mais rápido da província KwaZulu-Natal, a municipalidade formou uma equipe junto com os planejadores urbanos e grupos comunitários, usando o Dunnett para visualizar um futuro sustentável e equitativo para a cidade. Iniciativas como essas são experimentos ambiciosos, visando reorientar o desenvolvimento econômico. Mas será que a escala planetária do Dunnett é simplesmente ambiciosa demais para a economia se incluir dela? De maneira alguma. É uma escala cujo momento chegou na Grécia Antiga, quando formulou pela primeira vez a questão econômica. Qual é a melhor maneira de uma família gerir seus recursos? Xenofonte estava literalmente pensando numa família única, perto do fim da vida. Ele voltou sua atenção para o nível seguinte, a economia da cidade-estado, e propôs um conjunto de políticas comerciais, tributárias e de investimentos públicos para Atenas, na sua cidade natal. 2000 anos depois, na Escócia, Adam Smith alçou decisivamente o foco da economia para um novo nível, o Estado-nação, indagando por que as economias de alguns países prosperavam enquanto as de outros estagnavam. A lente econômica do Estado-nação de Smith captou a atenção das políticas públicas por mais de 250 anos e está entranhada nas comparações estatísticas anuais do PIB das nações. Mas agora, confrontados com uma economia globalmente conectada, é hora de esta geração de pensadores dar o inevitável passo seguinte. Estamos na era da família planetária, e a arte da administração familiar é mais do que nunca necessária para o lar comum. Obrigada.
Muito obrigado, Giovana. Pronto, câmera aberta. Muito obrigado pela sua participação, por trazer essa leitura tão importante da Kate Raworth, que está tão ligada à Economy of Francesco, né? So thank you, Giovana, for participating and bringing some of the huge knowledge that Kate Raworth brings to the world, and at the same time, she's very participative in the Economy of Francesco. By the way, I would like to give a kind of a spoiler here not a spoiler because you can find, all of you can find in our website. So don't forget to access francescoeconomy.org. There you're gonna find a lot of content, including the content related to the 2025 EoF school. Yeah, this year we are having, once again, the school, it's the 5th edition, 5th or 6th, no, it's the 5th edition. So, and with it, this year, we are gonna have a couple of live presentations, live lectures, and one of them with precisely Kate Revel. So she's gonna be with us on May, and stay tuned to our social media that we're gonna very soon publish more content about that specific intervention, okay, on EoF School 2025. So now I would like to invite a very good friend of mine of the Economy of Francesco, Ricardo Flores en español. He's gonna present, he's from El Salvador. Yo dejaré a él que explique todo porque él está aquí precisamente para eso. Gracias un montón, Ricardo, y bienvenido. Es todo tuyo.
Hola Enrique, hola comunidad, muchas gracias. Qué importante evento, qué importante conmemorar, qué importante recordar, qué importante continuar luchando. Este día yo voy a leer un poema de Claudia Lars, es una de las poetisas más importantes de El Salvador. Este día yo leeré Laude a San Francisco, un poema de 1933. Y antes de entrar en el poema, comentarles un poco de Claudia Lars. Claudia Lars es una de las poetisas más importantes de El Salvador. En sus textos se refleja la sensibilidad, la inteligencia y la lucha de la mujer en un mundo marcado por desafíos y desigualdades. A través de su poesía, ella exploró temas como la identidad, el amor, la naturaleza y el papel de la mujer en una sociedad de mucha desigualdad, en una realidad adversa. Sin embargo, ella lo hizo con un lenguaje sencillo, con una voz firme y fuerte y a la vez delicada y paciente. Su poesía reivindica la fortaleza y la profundidad del pensamiento, dando testimonio de la capacidad de transformación de las realidades a través del arte y la palabra, celebración o evento en el que estamos este día. Les comparto entonces el poema Laude a San Francisco de Asís del libro Repertorio Americano de Claudia Lars. Comienza. Dame, en el ámbar del día, sol, tus prismas y fulgores. Dame tus rayos mejores para vestir mi alegría. Su más rara melodía, la brisa diga a las flores, y fragancia y colores llenen la copa del día. Laude y gloria para el santo, el dulce juglar de Dios, el que con sencilla voz soltó en el viento su canto. Canto que decía tanto, pues de lo divino en pos hablaba lengua de Dios, la mística voz del santo. Dadme, abejas, la más rica miel de la rubia colmena. Insecto, dame tu antena, tan primorosa y tan chica. Arrulle la tortolica morena, y por cándida y por buena sea nuestra ofrenda rica. Dame, alondra mañanera, tu gorjeo cristalino, repita tu nuevo trino, céfiro de la pradera. ¿Quién aprenderlo pudiera y soltarlo en verso fino? Un fino verso latino para Francisco quisiera. Lobo, bajo su mirada, vas perdiendo la malicia, mientras tu lomo acaricia la tosca mana confiada. Bestia arisca y solapada, en dulce emunción novicia, un tierno instinto se inicia bajo su mano confiada. Luna y estrellas del cielo, nieve de la alta montaña, fiera del bosque, alimaña, águila de altivo vuelo, sabandija que en el suelo cobarde corres y huraña. Bajo el sol que a todos nos baña, hermanos de tierra y cielo, Celebremos en un coro su bondad linda y sencilla, su pureza sin mancilla, su caridad, su decoro. De su paciencia el tesoro, su candor, qué maravilla, y sus himnos de avecilla, que hubiera el buche canoro. Para Francisco de Asís, tengamos día de fiesta, canten campanas y orquesta, laude al corazón de lis, humildad de flor de anís, luce su frente modesta, en la gloria de su fiesta, laude a Francisco de Asís. Este es el poema de Claudia Lars en este día de conmemoración, de recuerdo, de análisis y de pensamiento, en el cual se demandan justicias, equidades, igualdad, entendiendo que los procesos de reivindicación son procesos que evolucionan y en los que participamos. Agradecemos y especialmente agradezco a Enrique, a Economía de Francisco y a todas aquellas personas y a todas aquellas mujeres que participan de nuestra comunidad, que son nuestra comunidad. Economía de Francisco y la economía en general tiene un rostro de mujer. Economía es, como mencionaba anteriormente Joana, es el entender, el cuido, es entender de dónde venimos, es entender y cuidar y honrar lo que se nos da. Muchas gracias, Enrique, muchas gracias a todos, a todas, qué alegría verles, qué alegría compartir con ustedes y hacia adelante, siempre.
Gracias, amigo. Gracias de montón, un montón. You are always there, participating and bringing this great energy to the world, to the team, to all the EoF community. Thank you so much. We will now move again forward, this time with a different point. We already had interviews, we already had readings. Now we're going to bring you a testimonial from a very, very special person, a very active participant in the Economy of Francesco, member of the assembly. I won't say anything else because she's going to present herself as much better than me doing it. So let me just say here what she's going to bring. She's going to bring, let me find here. This is a beautiful title. Daughters of Unfinished Dreams. From Pakistan, living in the USA, here is the entire floor to you. Vasha, be very welcome.
Thank you so much, Enrique. Thank you, everyone. It's a profound honor to be here today, not just as a speaker, but as someone who was never really supposed to have this moment. So you see, I come from a place where a girl's story is written for her before she even learns to read. A place where from the moment you are born, the world decides what you can and cannot do, what you can and cannot dream. And that world decided that I would be silent. But of course, silence was never something I accepted easily. I grew up in rural Sindh, Pakistan, where a girl's destiny was as predictable as the seasons, where daughters were raised to lower their voices, lower their eyes, and lower their expectations. And if you did not fit inside the lines drawn for you, if you dared to step beyond the world that was prescribed, you were reminded, sometimes gently, sometimes brutally, that you had no place beyond them. So naturally, I did not fit. There were no schools for girls in my village. No teachers waiting to tell me I was capable, no books handed to me with the expectations that I would grow. Knowledge was something of a currency that I was never meant to hold. But I was stubborn and I was hungry. So when no one would teach me, I taught myself. I scavenged words from discarded newspapers, traced letters into the dirt, memorized the math lessons my brothers were given. I basically stole knowledge where I could find it, in whispers, in stolen glances, in the spaces in between. Because education was not just learning, it was escape. And escape is dangerous. Because even without schools, the world had its ways of making sure that a girl never went too far. In my village, a girl's childhood could end in an instant with the stroke of a pen on a marriage contract. And I saw it happen again and again. Bright-eyed, beautiful, wondrous girls, girls I had whispered dreams with, suddenly pulled from the life they imagined and thrust into a life they had no choice in, sometimes well before they turned 10. Their laughter faded, their eyes dulled, their futures disappeared. And of course, in the space where their dreams used to be, there was silence. And silence is what makes injustice possible. So I refused to be silent. I founded a small organization called Sarti, not just to fight child marriage, but to replace stolen futures with possibility. I wanted to see a world where a girl wasn't valued for how soon she could be married, but for how far she could go. And the first battle was not just against laws or traditions, it was basically against fear. Because of course, when a woman speaks up, the world does not always celebrate her. It tries to break her. I faced threats. I was called disruptive, dangerous. I was told to remember my place. I was told that I was inviting trouble by speaking. Well, but if speaking is a crime, then I was willing to commit it. Because the real crime is pretending that injustice is normal. And I knew I wasn't alone. Because across the world, whether in Sindh, Cambodia, or the US, all the places that I eventually got to work and live and witness the injustices, the problems, and to, of course, curate solutions, I have met women who've been told the same things. Sit down, be quiet, be grateful. They, of course, tell us that change takes time, that we should wait, and that our time will come. But I was reminded by all these fabulous women that I had a chance to work with that we're all here to say that we do not wait. We build. We build spaces where women are no longer an afterthought. We build economies that do not just count profits, but count dignity. We build our own tables instead of waiting for a seat at theirs. And you know, when I think of what building means, I think about my mother. I think of her and I wonder how many times she must have sat outside looking at the sky, watching planes fly overhead, knowing that she would never be on one. I wonder if she ever let herself imagine it. If, for even a second, she thought, what would it feel like to go somewhere new, to leave, to choose, to move freely? Or if she had learned early on that dreaming of flight was useless when your feet were meant to stay planted. My mother never left our village. She lived and died in that village, and yet her prayers traveled with me across the world. Her hands never held a passport, never fastened a seat belt on an airplane, but those same hands fed, sewed, scrubbed, held, and carried. They sacrificed so that I could hold a future she never had. She, of course, never asked for recognition. She never asked for anything. And yet, I feel like my entire life is built on what she couldn't have. And I know I'm not the only one. I know it. Because behind every woman who has reached places she was never meant to go, There definitely is at least one other woman who carried her there. Maybe it was your mother. Maybe it was your grandmother. Maybe it was a woman whose name you will never even know. Maybe she spent her whole life making sure others had what she never did. Maybe she worked unnoticed, unheard, unseen, because that was the way of things. But we see her now, and we see all of them now, because we are here because of them. We are here because of the women who worked while others took credit, because of the women who swallowed their own dreams so we could chase ours, because of the women who gave way more than they ever received. And frankly, we owe them more than just gratitude. We owe them action. We owe them a world where their daughters, their granddaughters, the women who came after them do not inherit the same struggles. I refuse to sit in rooms they were never allowed to enter and pretend that I got here alone. I refuse to fly and forget the women who never even got to step beyond the borders of their villages. So I carry them with me, and I make them a promise. I promise that I will never take this life for granted. I promise that I will never forget that my wings were built from their sacrifices. And I promise that I will never stop fighting until every girl, whether it be in Sindh, in Cambodia, in the US, in every corner of this world, has the right to fly without asking permission. Because the real victory will be when a girl does not have to defy the odds just to learn. When women do not have to battle just to be seen, to be valued, to be free. And so today, I do not ask you to just listen. I ask you to act. I ask you to mentor a young girl, because girls do not just need inspiration, they need a hand to hold as they step into a world that was never designed for them. If you have knowledge, pass it down. If you have walked a path, clear the road behind you. Be the person who does not just say, oh, you can do it, but says, come, I will walk with you. Because for every girl who rises, believe me, 100 more find the courage to follow. Today, I ask you to advocate for policies that protect women's rights. Because change is not just about stories, it's of course about systems. Laws should not trap women in cycles of poverty and silence. Policies should not serve the privileged few while millions are left behind. I urge you to use your voices where it matters. Push for the change that outlives you. I ask you to find women-led movements, because power follows money. And if we want power in the hands of women, we must ensure that resources reach them. Support women who are building businesses, leading organizations, creating solutions, elevate their work, not just with words, but with investment. And we, the women of the world, the architects of change, the dreamers, the fighters, the revolutionaries, I know that we're building the world. I want to leave you with the words of Warsan Shire, a poet who, like so many of us, has carried the weight of history in her bones and still chose to rise. She writes, I belong deeply to myself. I am the consequence of the sacrifices of 1,000 women before me. I am the prayers of my mother and her mother and her mother before her. I am the dream and the hope and the fight and the fire, and I will not be moved. So, to every woman listening, I hope that you belong deeply to yourself. I hope that you do not wait for permission, you do not ask for a seat at the table, and that you build your own. And when they tell you to be quiet, when they try to write your story for you, when they try to take your flight before you ever leave the ground, I hope that you rise anyway. Because we are the consequence of 1,000 women before us, because we are the prayers of our mothers turned into action, because we are the fight and the fire, and we will not be moved. Thank you so much.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Vasha. No words after that. Well, I have no comments because the power of your words, the strength of that you bring within you is simply an example. So yeah, let's just digest all of this. Thank you. Please stay with our thankfulness. Well, we are gonna move forward now from the US to the other side of the world. We are going to listen now to Natalia from Indonesia, living in Australia. It is very, very late or early in the morning for her now. So we would like, first of all, to thank her so much for this effort of being here with us. I will give her the floor. I just wanted to bring, and she will explain, of course. The title she brought is Women Who Inspire New Ways of Economy, Stories of Hongowati Lemena and Janine Lutik. Of course, Natalia will pronounce correctly. So thank you so much, Natalia, for being here with us at this time, at this hour. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Keke, and good day, everyone. My name is Natalia Teguh Putri, and I am from the Business and Peace Village of the Economy of Francesco. Joining you today from Melbourne, Australia, it is an honor to be a part of this global celebration of women's voice in the economy. Today, I want to share the stories of two incredible women who have profoundly shaped my journey. Women who have invested their time, wisdom, and care in their students, shaping lives through their belief in others. And I count myself among the lucky ones because I sat in their classrooms and I learned from their guidance and tried to carry their lessons forward. So now I'm here with you, having the privilege of sharing their stories of teachers who did more than just educate. They empowered, inspired, and created opportunities that continue to ripple far beyond what they could see. And through them, through these incredible two women, I've learned that building a better economy isn't just about numbers or policies. It's about investing in people, lifting others up, and daring to believe in what is possible. So the first woman I want to honor, her name is Hongowati Lemena. She's my English teacher at St. Joseph College in Malang, East Java in Indonesia. So we called her Ma'am Hongo. And if you had asked any of my classmates back then, they would have probably described her as one of the strictest teachers in school. She was serious, disciplined, and never one to sugarcoat her words. We were all honestly a little terrified of her. But beneath that tough exterior was a heart full of patience, care, and unwavering belief in her students. Ma'am Hongo saw something in me before I even saw it in myself. She didn't just teach me English, she pushed me beyond my comfort zone, shaping me into a debater at school. She trained me relentlessly and corrected me without hesitation. She believed in me even when I doubted myself. And when the opportunity came, she went above and beyond to ensure that I could compete in an international debate competition in Jakarta, the capital city. At that time, she formed a debating team, me and 2 other boys. As the only girl on the team, she taught me to be fearless, to stand my ground, and to speak with confidence. Coming from Malang and initially Makassar, which is a small town, the idea of traveling to Jakarta, a capital city, for an international competition felt overwhelming. But Mem Hongo made it happen. She sought all the necessary permissions, arranged our transportation, and traveled with us like a mother hen, guiding us through the unfamiliar big city. And mind you, these are before GPS was even available. We didn't end up winning that competition, but we walked away transformed. No longer just students from a small town, but young people who had learned to compete, to strive, and to believe in possibilities beyond what we had known. So Mem Hongo is now retired, but we still keep in touch. I update her on my life, and she shares stories from her quieter days now. And with every conversation, I realize more and more that the lifetime she poured into her students was a gift, a selfless investment in shaping futures that she might never fully witness. Mem Hongo didn't invest in us, her students, with grand gestures, but in the daily discipline, in the unwavering faith she had in us, in the extra lessons beyond normal class time that she drilled into us, this confidence until they become like second nature. She taught me that education is more than just knowledge. It is about shaping character, about forming the confidence to step into new spaces and find our voices. And she showed me that a true leader is someone who lifts others up and never leaves anyone behind. So that's her story. The second woman I want to celebrate today is Dr. Janine Latik. And I called her a mentor who opened doors. She is a biblical scholar and theologian here at the Australian Catholic University. She's actually in Sydney, I'm in Melbourne. But I first met Janine through the Leadership for Mission program, which is a unique initiative designed to equip women with theological and leadership formation for engaging with the world in transformative ways. And we studied in this kind of cohort for 2 years. And through her lectures, Janine led us into deep and often challenging discussions on faith, mission, and leadership. But Janine's influence extended far beyond the classroom. Over time, she became like a mentor, a friend, and even a host when I needed a place to stay in Sydney. Our conversations weren't just about theology or school stuff. They're also about life and purpose and the kind of world we hope to help shape. One moment that left a deep imprint on me was a discussion that Janine facilitated with female leaders from the Abrahamic traditions. So we had an Islamic scholar, a Jewish rabbi, and Janine herself as a Catholic theologian. We had a great discussions, and it wasn't about glossing over differences or simply finding common ground, but it was about embracing those differences while still choosing to coexist in mutual respect and understanding. That discussion that day stayed with me, and in many ways, it became part of the reason I now find myself immersed in research on giving within the Abrahamic faith itself. So the seeds that Janine planted continue to grow, not just in my life, but in the lives of so many others, I believe. Janine believed in us, her students, and the women in the Leadership for Mission program. And I want to take a moment to also acknowledge my incredible cohort, the women in the course. I have Amelia, Beck, Claire, Ellie, Sophie, Erin, Ines, Lauren, Leah, Polly, Sarah, Emily, and Karen. And these have been and are my sisters, my strength, and my community. We came from different walks of life. Some of us juggling families' lives, babies, and communities to care for. But together we studied, learned, and grew alongside our incredible lecturers, of course, Janine, but also Maeve, Tony, and Gemma. And together we find ourselves huddled together and navigated this journey of what it means to become women, sisters, mothers, leaders in our communities in Australia. Hopefully with resilience and faith and support for one another. So I do find myself to be very fortunate to be surrounded by these strong women. And back to Janine. Janine continued to open doors for me. Last year, she actually invited me to join a panel discussion for the International Women's Day in Sydney, where our own Sor Alessandra Smerilli delivered a keynote speech. They zoomed her over this big screen, and we're all sitting and listened to what she had to say at night in the discussion. And at that time, Janine hosted me in Sydney. She welcomed me and introduced me to her friends, families, among which Dr. Deb Snoddy, who quickly became like a big sister to me. And they're preparing wholesome meals, and they even drove me to the airport at 5 a.m. so I could catch a flight back to Melbourne for work. And I always remember they didn't let me leave without packing yogurt, strawberries, and oats for my breakfast on the plane. So that kind of thoughtful kindness, love that they have. Janine still leads Leadership for Mission today, and she's even preparing this year's International Women's Day celebration in Sydney tomorrow. And yet she still finds the time to reach out to past students, ensuring they continue to feel connected and included. Janine taught us to question, to seek justice, to hope, and to be both strong and gentle. And it's possible to be both. She showed us how to hold space in moments of tension and how to walk the path of justice and charity. Janine reminded us to pause and read the sign of times, to see, judge, and act, and bringing hope wherever we go. So whenever I think of Janine, I think she embodies a different kind of economy, one that's not built on transactions, but on relationships. Janine understands that investing in others means opening doors, holding space, and sharing whatever she has, even if that means offering someone a pair of shoes for a journey to Assisi. And that's me. I actually wore a pair of her shoes when I went to Assisi. So this brings us to the end of my stories about these two extraordinary teachers in my life who shaped my journey, and in doing so, help shape a different kind of economy. So now with the extra time we have, I want to turn the focus to you. If you like, we could take a moment to reflect now on who are the women in your life who have lifted you up. Who are the women in your life who saw something in you before you saw it in yourself? The ones who, with quiet strength and unwavering belief, invested their time and energy and care so that you could flourish. If you have these women in your mind, quietly say thank you to them. If you can say thank you to them directly, that's even better. But these women who hold this special space, these are exactly the architects of new economy, not one measured by profit margins or financial models, but by generosity, inclusion, and transformation. And the Economy of Francesco calls us to rethink the foundations of our economic systems. What if instead of being built on competition, they were built on care? What if instead of being driven by scarcity, we're driven by abundance, the kind of abundance that comes from lifting others up? So now I leave you with a question. Can we be these women for others? But if you're a man, of course, you can also be these people for others, the one that brings others up. Can we be the ones who recognize potential where it has yet to bloom? The ones who offer up encouragement, a listening ear, or a guiding hand when someone is on the brink of giving up? Can we be the ones who create space for others to grow, to thrive, and to lead? And just to sum up, I think a truly just economy is not just about wealth. It is about relationships. It is about ensuring that no one is left behind. It is about choosing to invest in people, just as Mem Hongo and Janine invested in me. And as we celebrate International Women's Day, let us commit to building an economy of care, of sustainability, and of dignity. An economy where generosity is not an afterthought, but the foundation of our shared future. And to close, I want to leave you with the work of Dr. Romaine Morton, titled Women's Business. Dr. Romaine Morton is a Goenpul Yagara of Stroudsburg Island and Bundjalung of northern New South Wales, Australia. She is a brilliant researcher, writer, academic, artist, and entrepreneur, and a big leader in the community of the First Nations people. She reminds us of the power of women's work and the work of holding and healing and dreaming a better world into existence. And I'll read it for you. Women's business, and this is an excerpt. We are the keepers of the flame, the ones who remember the stories, the ones who sing the land alive. We are the ones who carry the water, who grind the grain, who weave the thread. We are the ones who hold the future in the palms of our hands. We are the ones who rise where the world is broken. We are the ones who mend who has been torn apart. We are the ones who dream of a world where all are equal, and we're the ones who build it. Thank you for listening, and happy International Women's Day to everyone.
Thank you, Natalia. Thank you so much. What a nice speech, and including, especially at that time, right, for you. So we wish you a very good night of sleep. Go to bed now. Thank you so much. Before you go, I would just like to invite Evelyn Sanchez, who is working with us in this working group for this marathon. Eve, please help us.
Thank you. I just wanted to say thank you to Varsha and Natalia. Both your testimonies and readings has been very inspiring. So I wanted to let you know that well, the first one is coming to inspire us and to give us. I was very moved. Actually, I couldn't manage to build up some sentences, and it touched me very deep. And now with Natalia energy and also her own testimony about her teachers and people who inspire her, and of course her call for action that was very very good too. I just wanted to say thank you very much, because I'm sure you will also inspire other women to do the same. So thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Natalia. Well, we are now going to a very short break, but we would like to invite you not to simply stay out, go out and grab your coffee, but go stretching your legs and doing some exercise, because this is a marathon. All right. So let's keep things moving on, and we will be right back. Just a couple of minutes, and we have a lot more in this last hour of our marathon. Please stay tuned. All right, we are back. Welcome, everyone. Welcome back. I hope you have stretched your legs, made some exercise. We are going to the last mile now. Are you ready for the last mile? We still have a lot to bring. And other testimonies, other readings. But before that, let me just change one thing here. All right. Okay, so before that, we're going to listen to a very, very beautiful song. Many of you might have already heard it, listened to it, but it is something that really resonates with what we are doing in the Economy of Francesco, beyond trying to rethink and restructure the economy. This is something that brought us together, and many more people will come together with us in this journey, because we are sure this is the best, or if it's not the best, the more feasible way to keep moving ahead in a more just, fraternal, and full of justice economy. So as of right now, we're going to listen to the song that my very good friend Evelyn Sanchez, who was here with us and who will show her face back very soon. She wrote this in 2020. Yeah, 2020, right? Yeah, exactly. Oh my God, 5 years ago. Please, let's listen to it.
The world looks for light, the world looks for love. The way to be sustainable is by saying no more. No more homeless, no more hunger. Let us travel the unknown. We breathe the same air, we use the same light. No one can be left behind. What is it that we need to let go? And what needs to be born to make our connection better? Always better now. For but together, sense of belonging, I am because we are. For but together, sense of belonging, I am because we are. Be in the right place, be in the right time, be with the right people, in the right way. Be in the right place, be in the right time, be with the right people, in the right way. Be in the right place, be in the right time, be with the right people, in the right way. Be in the right place, be in the right time, be with the right people, in the right way. In the right way, in the right way. The world looks for wisdom, the world looks for love. The way to be sustainable is by saying no more. No more greenwashing, no more disasters. Let us travel the unknown. To multiply the change, we need to plant a seed, the one that is where it should be. Use the river, change his curse. It starts within ourselves, make our connection better, always better
Well, welcome back. We just noticed that YouTube doesn't allow us to play a song. I just noticed that it's not playing very well on the live stream, so we are sorry about that. This song is available on our YouTube channel, so we ask you to please go there and listen to it because it's a beautiful lyric. It's very, very beautiful lyrics. So all right. Okay. Carla, can you hear me?
Hello, yes.
Hello. Great. It's just because I'm noticing that it might be some problems with the audio here, not only with the song. Let me check here. Let me double check just a second, please, before we give the floor to you. And I will make sure you get properly introduced. Let me just check here why it's the song is not working very well. All right, I think we're back. Okay, let's move ahead. Sorry about that, Carla, and sorry about that, all you listeners on YouTube. So we are back now. We're gonna hear from another reader. This is Carla Madueño. You can already see her next to me. Be very welcome, Carla. She's gonna talk about, let's open here again. She's gonna talk about women who shape economy, a power that inspires. She is from Peru, living in Germany, correct? Carla, is that correct? Oh, you're on mute.
Yes, both, correct.
Oh, perfect. So I'll give you the floor. Be very welcome. Thank you for being here with us. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Enrique. Muchas gracias. Buenos días desde Lima. Good morning from Lima. I am very happy to join this reading marathon on the occasion of the International Women's Day. I greet fellow peers from the Economy of Francesco being part of this movement and friends that are joining as well to follow the essay I will read now. I hope I can be heard loud and clear. So I will start with the text. I'm sharing my screen so that you can also see what I will be reading. All right. So we often speak of the need for a new economy, perhaps because we assume that everything new is better, that anything created from scratch is inherently superior. But what if the change we seek is not about inventing something unprecedented? What about discovering what is true? For it is only in truth that we find meaning for our identity, our dignity, and our vocation. For those of us who believe, this truth has already been revealed in the gospel. From it, we come to understand who we are, and from that recognition, we can reflect on our mission in the world. The Economy of Francesco calls us to build a more just and humane economy. But before taking action, we must first seek clarity about the fundamental principles that should guide us. Daring to seek the truth is a courageous step, one that allows us to build on a solid foundation. Today, on International Women's Day, or tomorrow actually, I invite us to ask ourselves two fundamental questions. First, what is the essence of our identity and dignity as women? And secondly, how should we safeguard this identity and dignity, especially in modern times? I believe these questions are essential as we strive for an economy that not only dignifies and uplifts, but also recognizes the role of both men and women, and today in particular, the role of women. To explore the first question, our identity as women, I turn to Mulieris Dignitatem, the apostolic letter of St. John Paul II from 1988. This is the first document actually made by the Pontifical Magisterium and dedicated entirely to women. This document addresses themes such as the dignity and vocation of women, the significance of Mary in Christianity, and Jesus' example of how he treated women of his time. Beyond its theological depth, I It offers universal insights that help us answer the questions I have posed today. In the following reflections, I will present my commentary. I have read these two letters, not only Mulieris Dignitatem, but also St. John Paul's II letter to women from 1995, which I will refer to as the open letter. So I will be quoting extracts from two important letters to reflect about these two questions that I'm posing. The first one, what is our identity? And the second one, what are we supposed to do with that identity? So to start, my first question was, what is the essence of this identity as a woman? I must turn back to the passage in Genesis where God created man and woman in his image and likeness. Along with the identity, we must speak of the dignity of woman, which John Paul expresses as extraordinary. Extraordinary for John Paul means that it is only in the figure of a woman that the form of union between a living God and a human being is given. The excerpt reads as follows. The extraordinary dignity of the woman consists in the supernatural elevation to union with God in Jesus Christ, which determines the ultimate finality of the existence of every person both on earth and in eternity. From this point of view, the woman is the representative and the archetype of the whole human race. She represents the humanity which belongs to all human beings, both men and women. On the other hand, however, the event at Nazareth highlights a form of union with the living God, which can only belong to the woman, Mary, in this case, the union between mother and son. The Virgin of Nazareth truly becomes the Mother of God. In other words, for John Paul, the dignity of the woman is extraordinary because of this bridge between human beings and a living God. And not only that, this is a bit more theological for our Catholic fellows. There is another element that comes to this, which is the salvific role of being a woman. And the apostolic letter reads, a woman is to be found at the center of a salvific event where Mary attains a union with a God that exceeds all the expectations of the human spirit, something that has never happened before. All in all, and especially for a believer, although my reflection is ecumenic, but especially in this first preamble, and relevant for a believer, this is what makes the dignity of a woman extraordinary. Moving on the other hand, we discover the dignity of women as one dignity deserving honor and respect, nothing less than from her own creator, Jesus, in the form of the second person of the Trinity, God made man. Throughout the Gospel, we see how Jesus, through his interactions, approaches, daily conversations with women of his time, maintains an exceptionally innovative treatment for his time and Jewish customs. As we scan the pages of the Gospel, this is the extract of the apostolic letter, as we scan the pages of the Gospel, many women of different ages and conditions pass before our eyes. We meet women with illnesses, with physical sufferings. In all of Jesus' teachings, as well as his behavior, one can find nothing which reflects discrimination against women prevalent in his day. On the contrary, his words and works always express the respect and honor due to women. This way of speaking to and about women, as well as his manner of treating them, clearly constitutes an innovation with respect to the prevailing custom at that time. This innovation was already taking place 2,000 years ago. And for me, that's revolutionary. Not only 2,000 years ago, but today. I believe that today, speaking of dignity at all is revolutionary. Because for starters, it is something immeasurable, incommensurable, something intangible, something that cannot be monetized or commodified, specifically if we talk in economic terms. Dignity is something perhaps that challenges the use and dispose system we are in. St. John Paul II saw this already a couple of years ago and warned us, humanity, of the dangers of a reality that forgets the incommensurability of the dignity of the woman. Back in 1995, he wrote about this. Yet how many women have been and continue to be valued more for their physical appearance than for their skill, professionalism, intellectual abilities, deep sensitivity, or in a word, the very dignity of their being. As John Paul II mentions, the weight also of historical burdens may oppress the dignity of women too. And what shall we say about the obstacles which in so many parts of the world still keep women from being fully integrated into social, political, and economic life. As far as personal rights are concerned, there is an urgent need to achieve real equality in every area: equal pay for equal work, protection for working mothers, fairness in career advancements, equality of spouses with regard to family rights, and the recognition of everything that is part of the rights and duties of citizens in a democratic state. Now I believe that I have well answered my question to what is the dignity and the identity of a woman. And now I move on to my second question, which is how to protect this. Now that we understood the value and reflected upon the value of what it means to be woman, now we need to understand how to protect this value. Otherwise, we will lose this in time. So my second question is, how then should we safeguard that identity and dignity of being a woman? I respond this by sharing what John Paul tells us in the Open Letter of 95, that restoring the dignity to women requires actually speaking about justice. This is a matter of justice, says Article 4, but also of necessity. Women will increasingly play a part in the solution of serious problems in the future: leisure time, quality of life, migration, social services, euthanasia, drugs, healthcare, and ecology. In all these areas, a greater presence of women in society will prove most valuable, for it will help to manifest the contradictions present when society is organized solely according to the criteria of efficiency and productivity, and it will force systems to be redesigned in a way which favors the processes of humanization, which mark the civilization of love. Jean Paul II speaks then of women, recognizing as well in them strength. While the dignity of woman witnesses to the love which she receives in order to love in return, the moral and spiritual strength of a woman is joined to her awareness that God entrusts the human being to her in a special way. A woman is strong because of this awareness, always and in every way, even in the situations of social discrimination in which she may find herself. This awareness about this entrusting and this fundamental vocation speak to women of the dignity which they receive from God Himself, and this makes them strong and strengthens their vocation. Thus, the perfect woman, remembering Proverbs, becomes an irreplaceable support and source of spiritual strength for other people who perceive the great energies of her spirit. These perfect women are outmatched by their families and sometimes by whole nations. And certainly, Jean Paul does not finish speaking about women without mentioning their intelligence. In our time, the successes of science and technology make it possible to attain material well-being to a degree unknown. While this favors some, it pushes others to the edges of society. In this way, unilateral progress can also lead to a gradual loss of sensitivity for men, that is, for what is essentially human. In this sense, our time in particular awaits the manifestation of that genius which belongs to women and which can ensure sensitivity for human beings in every circumstance, because they are human and because the greatest of this is love, remembering one of the third cardinal virtues. Finally, St. John Paul II redefines the vocation of woman with something more revolutionary. For me personally, as a young woman, it was very touching to read that he defines woman as a carrier of a vocation connected to love. Love that is concrete, that manifests itself in daily life, and that is tangible. From chapter 8, I read, "A woman's dignity is closely connected with the love which she receives by the very reason of her femininity. It is likewise connected with the love she gives in return. This ontological affirmation also indicates the ethical dimension of a person's vocation. Woman can only hand herself by giving love to others." Having reflected on the fundamental elements needed to rediscover the truth and having answered my two central questions about identity and vocation of the woman, we together can now turn back to the implications of what this means. Particularly when we are all members of a living economy and want to make this economy authentic and an economy that recognizes and upholds the dignity of women. The mission of woman then is in the richness of her femininity, and it's deeply tied to the destiny of humanity. The mission of a woman is not merely a social or economic responsibility, but a profound calling, one entrusted to women by the Creator himself. As Jean Paul II expresses in Mulieris Dignitatem, women can discover the entire meaning of their femininity in the spirit of Christ and thus be disposed to making a sincere gift of self to others, thereby funding themselves. The Church gives thanks for each and every woman, for perfect women, and for weak women, as all have come forth from the heart of God in all the beauty and richness of their femininity, as they have been embraced by His eternal love, as together with men they are pilgrims on this earth, and as together with men they assume a common responsibility for the destiny of humanity and to the definitive destiny in God Himself. This is part of the conclusion of this apostolic letter, and I join to this conclusion last extract from the open letter. All in all, we recognize that this shared responsibility between man and woman requires a society that actively promotes the full development of women's vocational potential. It is not enough to acknowledge the dignity of women in theory. It must be reflected in practice, in opportunities, in culture and economic structures. I end with this reflection from the 1995 letter. The full respect for women and their identity must first and foremost be won through an effective and intelligent campaign for the promotion of women, concentrating on all areas of women's life and beginning with the universal recognition of the dignity of women. Our ability to recognize this dignity, in spite of historical conditioning, comes from the use of reason itself, which is able to understand the law of God written in the heart of every human being. More than anything else, the Word of God enables us to grasp clearly the ultimate anthropological basis of the dignity of women, making it evident as a part of God's plan for humanity. Thus, as we seek to build an economy that dignifies and uplifts, we must first ensure that this economy is rooted in a revealed truth, the truth of who we are and the mission entrusted to us. For only in rediscovering this truth we can shape a world where women and men together fulfill their shared vocation and responsibility for humanity. Thank you very much for joining me reading this essay, and I hope you liked it. Thank you very much for this space.
Thank you, Carla. Esto ha sido muy bonito, muy enriquecedor. Muchísimas gracias, Carla. Seguro nos llevaremos este llamado a hacer a participar de esa vocación a la que nos has invitado hoy. Muchas gracias. Thank you so much.
Muchas gracias. Gracias a
Now
todos.
now we're going to watch a lovely video from Tracy Freiberg from the USA. And for that, Enrique, can you help us out with the technical issues, please?
All right. There we go. No, let's try again just a second. All right, there you go.
Hi, I'm Tracy Freiberg. I'm at St. John's University.
Yeah, it's not working. The video is not working. I mean, it works for us, but it doesn't work for streaming on YouTube. We are sorry. In any case, all right. We ask for forgiveness about this. Sorry. We expected it work. So yeah, we're gonna we figured out the problem of Evelyn's song, so we're gonna play it now again, okay? While we get prepared for the next testimony from someone who just joined us. So yeah, now you have the opportunity to listen to the full song from the Far But Together from Evelyn Sanchez, okay? Here we go.
The world looks for light, the world looks for love, the way to be sustainable is by saying no more. No more homeless, no more hunger. Let us travel the unknown. We breathe the same air, we use the same light. No one can be left behind. What is it that we need to let go? And what needs to be born to make our connection better, always better now. For but together, sense of belonging, I am because we are. For but together, sense of belonging, I am because we are. Be in the right place, be in the right time, be with the right people, in the right way. Be in the right place, be in the right time, be with the right people, in the right way. Be in the right place, be in the right time, be with the right people, in the right way. Be in the right place, be in the right time, be with the right people, in the right way. In the right way, in the right way. The world looks for wisdom, the world looks for love, the way to be sustainable is by saying no more. No more greenwashing, no more disasters. Let us travel the unknown. To multiply the change, we need to plant a seed, the one that is where it should be. Use the river, change his curse. It starts within ourselves, make our connection better, always better now. For but together, sense of belonging, I am because we are. For but together, sense of belonging, I am because we are. Be in the right place, be in the right time, be with the right people, in the right way. Be in the right place, be in the right time, be with the right people, in the right way. Be in the right place, be in the right time, be with the right people, in the right way. Be in the right place, be in the right time, be with the right people, in the right way. In the right way, in the right way. Turning conscience into words, turning conscience into actions. It inspires to create. When you are with greater value, turning conscience into words, turning conscience into actions. It inspires to create. When you are with greater value, turning conscience into words, turning conscience into actions. We take with us what we gave. And you are with greater value, turning conscience into words, turning conscience into actions. We take with us what we gave. And you are with greater value, far but together, sense of belonging. I am because we are, far but together, sense of belonging. I am because we are, lejos más juntos pertenecemos. Yo soy porque somos, longe mais juntos pertencemos. Eu sou porque somos, lontani ma uniti apparteniamo. Sono perché siamo, l'uomo ensemble nous appartenons. Je suis parce que nous sommes, dalle quali razem de exponente, jestem po nieba, jesteśmy, far but together, sense of belonging. I am because we are, far but together, far but together. Be in the right place, be in the right time, be with the right people, in the right way. Be in the right place, be in the right time, be with the right people, in the right way. Be in the right place, be in the right time, be with the right people, in the right way. Be in the right place, be in the right time, be with the right people, in the right way, in the right way, in the right way, in the right way.
Beautiful song, huh? Brings so many memories. Thank you, Eve. Thank you for your beautiful voice, for sharing your beautiful talent with the world. So let's move forward. We're sorry once again with the video from Tracy. We're trying to figure this out, but as it is on a platform online, we couldn't download it, so it's been hard to try to play it. But we are gonna move forward now and try to fix it. Yeah. I'm gonna call right now a very good friend of ours. She has a beautiful, beautiful story, full of a very good energy, which I am very thankful for enjoying a little bit of it in my life. So yeah, the floor is yours. Let's see here exactly the name of your presentation. All right. We will have Nayeli Perez Negron from Mexico. She's gonna speak both in Italian or in English or in Spanish. It's up to her. With the title Women, a Living Example of Hope. Gracias un montón, Naye, por estar acá con nosotros. Thank you so much. The floor is yours.
Gracias, Henrik. Gracias a la Economía de San Francisco. And well, hello, everyone. It is an honor to be here today, surrounded by so many extraordinary women. What a gift it is to gather, to listen to each other, to share our stories, and to recognize the power we have when we uplift one another. Every human life has come into existence through the sacrifice and love of a woman. And today, I I want to honor each and every one of you. This moment is not just for the women who have participated in this incredible program. It is for all the women in this room and for those who will hear this message in the future. Because what we share here today is timeless. It is a universal truth. Every human being is born from the love and sacrifice of a woman. We know that, right? Well, women embody God's creative power, a power that is selfless and boundless. This truth, often overlooked, is proof of the great strength within us. Since the beginning of humanity, women have been the pillars that sustain life, not just biologically, but in every possible way. In our homes, in our workplaces, in our communities, and in the dreams we build. Today, we wanna honor you. Your effort, your love, your struggles, and your devotion do not go unnoticed. Every day, with every action, you leave an imprint on this world. During this journey, we have heard many stories, and I often wonder, what is it about stories that captivate, inspire, and shape us? Stories have enormous power. They connect us, teach us, and remind us that we are not alone. They help us find meaning even in the darkest moments. And so today, I want to share a piece of my own story. Like many of you, my journey has been marked by pain, uncertainty, and trials I never expected. But standing here, I am a witness, just like the many women who have spoken before me, that our stories are not defined by the hardships we face, but by how we transform them into hope. Well, my name is Nayeli, as Henrik said. I'm from Mexico. If someone had told me years ago that I will be here sharing my testimony with you, I probably wouldn't have believed it. But life has a way of turning even the deepest suffering into something greater. Years ago, my firstborn child, my only child at that time, fought an incredible 2-year battle against cancer, leukemia specifically. And after a long and painful journey, I had to say goodbye to my so precious and so loved child. It was a pain that felt unbearable and senseless. I have to be honest. But over time, I discovered something incredible. Even in suffering, there is purpose. Even in darkness, there is hope. And when we surrender our wounds to God, He can transform them into blessings for others. That journey, one that began in uncertainty, has not allowed me to impact the lives of over 1,000 children from underprivileged backgrounds facing cancer in Mexico. And I don't say this out of pride, but out of gratitude, because I have come to understand that life is not just about what happens to us, but about what we do with it. So, today, I want to share with you a truth that has changed my life. Nothing we go through is meaningless. With love, with faith, and with hope, everything, absolutely everything, can be transformed into something far greater than we ever imagined. Women are creators of life, change, and transformation. At the beginning of this talk, I spoke about how women bring life into the world, remember? Well, I deeply believe that women were created to give life, not just biologically, as I said. To me, motherhood is one of the greatest blessings, but in many other ways. We bring life to projects when we create opportunities, innovate, and build new paths. We bring life to dreams when we uplift others, when we see potential where others see limitations. We bring life to our communities when we serve with love, when we care, when we work toward a better world. Motherhood is not only biological, it is spiritual and social. Woman nurture in ways beyond imagination. We feed babies, but we also feed economies. We raise children, but we also raise ideas, businesses, and societies. How extraordinary is our God who has given us this incredible superpower. Women sustain economies, drive social change, educate, and transform the world, not for recognition, but simply because it is who we are. And with all due respect to the wonderful man in this room, I have to share something my father always told me. Mistakes are part of learning. That's why God first created man and then perfected his work with woman. It always makes me smile. But beyond the joke, there is a deep truth in this. Imperfection is part of the process. We are not perfect. We make mistakes. We fall. We feel lost at times. But being imperfect doesn't make us any less worthy. On the contrary, it makes us human. And every setback, every failure, every moment of doubt is an opportunity to rise again, wiser, stronger, and much more compassionate. If any of you are going through a difficult time, I want to remind you this. You are not alone. Do not let struggles make you forget how valuable you are. Do not let fear paralyze you, because within you lies a power beyond measure, a power to rise, to create, and to overcome. Women are the very definition of hope. As Pope Francis once said, we are called to become women of hope. There is an Italian proverb that says, hope is the last thing ever lost. In Mexico, we say, la esperanza muere al último. But let me tell you, I'm a living proof that real hope never, ever dies. I wake up every day with joy because I hold onto the hope of one day seeing my son again in eternity. Can you see why? When faith, hope, and love come together, miracles happen. Love and hope are the twin flames that light our spirits, illuminating even the darkest nights. Through everything I have lived, I have come to understand one thing. God is not the one who takes away. He is always the one who gives. Now, as a mother of 4 wonderful kids, I can tell you that children do not take away from us. They do not limit us. On the contrary, they give us everything. They push us to be more creative, to expand beyond what we ever imagined for ourselves. And guess what? Hope is the same way. It never takes away. It only gives. Today, we celebrate women, but I want this message to go beyond a single day, because women are not symbols of struggle, hope, and love for just one moment, but for every day of their lives. We transform the world with every action, every word, every decision we make. As Proverbs says about women, strength and honor are her clothing. She is confident about the future. Her value exceeds pearls. All you desire can't compare with her. Her mouth is full of wisdom. Kindly teaching is on her tongue. So today, I want to leave you with this invitation. Recognize your worth. Never underestimate the impact you have. Share your story, as I do, because every story matters. Believe in the power God has given you. You were made to create, to nurture, to transform. If there is one thing I want you to take from this message, is this. Women are not just about one day. We are about life itself. We are creators of life, love, dreams, and hope. And the world needs more of you, more of me, more of us, together. Thank you so much, and thanks for this opportunity.
Thank you, Naye. Gracias. Thank you so much. I love listening to you. It always brings me so much joy and happiness, and yeah, strength to move ahead, right? Thank you so much. I appreciate your all your los dones. Thank you so much. All right. We are moving forward now. Once again, we excuse ourselves for not having Tracy's video. We will make sure to make it available on YouTube so that you can see it, watch it. It's because it's very interesting, her presentation. And as of right now, who's going to read to you is a guy from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. That is myself. I'm going to read to you, taking back Gabriela Mistral, in Spanish, Gabriela Mistral's book, which is very, very deep and insightful. It contains very, very deep and insightful poems that really touches our hearts. So yeah, I'm gonna read for you. Let me just find the page. All right, I'll try to read some of them to you. And excuse me, my Spanish, okay? All right. El primer texto se llama La delicadeza. Una abeja se ha entrado en un lirio. Se sacudieron un poco los pétalos y ella penetró en la corola. Hace un pequeño rumor y el lirio se mece. La flor estaba llena de miel y con el peso del polen abundante en el pistillo, la abeja sale con las alas manchadas y las patitas goteantes. El lirio se queda después íntegro y sereno. Yo quiero, Francisco, pasar así por las cosas, sin doblarles un pétalo, que quede solo un rumor dentro de ellas y la suavísima remembranza de que me tuvieron. This is a very beautiful text from Gabriela Mistral. We have another one that I separated here. Let me just find it. Se llama La Caridad. Okay. Okay. Can't find it. All right. Leeré un otro que se llama La Voz. Okay. ¿Cómo hablaría San Francisco? ¿Quién oyera sus palabras goteando como un fruto de su dulzura? ¿Quién las oyería cuando el aire está lleno de resonancias secas como un cardo muerto? Esa voz de San Francisco hacía volverse el paisaje sobre él, como un semblante. Apresuraba de amor la savia en los árboles y hacía alfojarse de dulzura su abollonado a la rosa. Era un acento quedo, como el que tiene el agua cuando corre bajo la arenita menuda. Y cantaba sus canciones con ese acento amortiguado por la humildad. Cantar es tener un estremecimiento más que una palabra en la voz. El hablar de San Francisco se deslizaba invisible por los oídos de los hombres y se hacía en sus entrañas un puñado de flores suavísimas. Y ellos no entendían aquella suavidad extraña que les hacía. Ignoran las palabras que las palabras son guirnaldas invisibles que se descuelgan hacia las entrañas. Hasta era mayor que el de las manos este milagro de la voz. Francisco no tocaba a veces el pecho de los leprosos. Les hablaba con sus manos cogidas. Y el aliento era el verdadero aceite que resbalaba aliviando la llaga. Y se hizo Francisco boca de canciones para ser boca de sumo amor. No quiso buscar al Señor con gemidos en la sombra como Pascal. Lo buscó en el sentido de sus canciones gozosas, semejantes al latido vivo de polvo dorado que hay en un rayo de sol. ¿Cuál es la mayor dulzura que has alcanzado allá abajo? Solían preguntar los ángeles al Señor. Y el Señor les respondía, no son los panales que se vencen, son los labios que están siempre bien henchidos de mi siervo Francisco, el cantador. Ese es un otro bello texto y muy precioso, ¿no? Muy precioso. Ok, un otro que se llama, déjame encontrar aquí porque estaba acá, pero no estaba. Ok. La presencia en las cosas. Francisco, yo suelo encontrarte acurrucadito en un matorral de salvia. Unos ojitos ardientes brillan en el fondo y las ramas altas se mueven por el escondido. Entonces, junto con la dulzura las ramas, y sigo. A veces rompiendo las castañas del color de tu sayal, me parece que saltas alegre en una pirueta. Estabas prisionero en el fruto para que te meciera el viento. Da una rama, Francisco, una mecedura tan suave como la del cielo. Tú jugando, Francisco, has hecho esta dedada de miel de los caminos y por eso el caminar tiene como un encantamiento. Las piedrecillas pintadas las pintas tú. Y estas conchas de mar, café como tus vestidos, con pintas blancas, eres tú mismo jaspeado de lo divino. ¿Y qué mano sino la tuya ha podido dar vueltas y vueltas a estos caracoles de mar jugando con tu dedito adentro? Esta corola de flor con tubito largo, no la habrás estirado soplando como un niño desde el cáliz. Y no le habrás pintado tú el caparazón a la tortuga. Lo tenía de color de cera vieja. Y se lo veteaste de venas oscuras. Y cuando la lágrima se riza sin viento, ¿no vas tú pasando con tu sayal largo sobre ella? Las embarcaciones en la orilla se juntan, chocándose como si se lo contaran. Y los musgos, Francisco, tú los cuajas tocando con tu pecho las piedras. Los troncos se ponen tiernos y crían esa lana verde y ceñida, donde duerme el rocío. Francisco, una doctrina herética, cuenta de millones de geniecillos. Se les encomienda por pacientes labrar las cosas final de la creación. Yo creería de buena gana que tú existes desde el comienzo de la tierra, Francisco, y que has hecho los cristales, los dientecitos del granizo y las pintaduras del lirio atigrado. Tú habrías sido como el jefe de las inmensas jerarquías de gnomos artesanos. Cogerías un pájaro y delante de ellos le irías dibujando las alas con un toque rápido de los dedos. Treparías con los geniecillos los árboles y les enseñarías arriba a pintar de claro el extremo de la copa que se funde con la luz. El árbol, así, parece debajo una luz más densa. Te sentarías con ellos bajo los pinos a hacer el modelo de la cápsula, que es una catedral diminuta y sombría. Entonces, yo enfermo acá y ahora le paso la palabra a Evelyn. Once again, una otra volta. Una otra vez. Thank you, Eve. Thank you for giving me the space, all of you, to celebrate this very special day.
Yes, thank you for those poems. Gabriela Mistral is a genius. And in these final minutes of the marathon, I just wanted to say that this our Woman Days marathon, it has been driven by hope. So I think even we can say it's a beacon of light, celebrating women's achievement and igniting the spark of change. We wholeheartedly thank every reader who shared their hope and stories. Your participation has been the soul of this event, reminding us that together we can build a brighter future. To our incredible YouTube audience, thank you for being part of this journey. Your comments and supports have amplified our message, carrying it to unimaginable corners. We invite you to join the Economy of Francesco, and please invite other young people. This is a global community where hope is transformed into action. You can register and let's build a better world together, you know? And last but not least, we have an invitation. With great enthusiasm, we announced the Economy of Francesco Global Event 2025 in November, a meeting of hopeful collaboration. In there, young leaders from all around the world will gather to wave a future where the economy serves humanity, as has been over the 5 years. Stay tuned for more details, and as usual, we will wait for you with open arms. Right now, I will pass the mic to Valentina, that I know that she wanted to say a very special message to.
Hello to everyone. Thank you, Eve. Thank you, Enrique. And before we closing, we cannot say, we cannot finish this marathon without saying thank you, especially to the people who work behind. So, especially Dileta, Olena, Ilita from Italy, Olena from Italy, Ukraine, also our readers, Rebecca from Ivory Coast, Daria Majida from Italy, Ivana from Ukraine, Sadia from Mozambique, Mavi from Ivory Coast, Sama from Egypt, Givona from Brazil, Natalia from Australia, Indonesia, Carla from Peru, Tracy from United States, Nayeli from Mexico, Vasha from Pakistan, USA. So thank you so much also, because without you, this could not be possible. As well, from the team of Economy of Francesco, Maria, Chiara, Rita, Ricardo, Maria, and of course, we want to say a special thank you to Eve from Venezuela, Marcia King from Peru, and Enrique from, well, the staff in Brazil. So thank you so much to everyone. I hope you like it, and yeah, we spreading the joy of being tonight together today.
All right.
Enrique, you're on mute. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I noticed. Thank you so much. The girls already thanked mostly everyone. We wanted to thank also all of you who are watching this streaming, this live broadcasting. And I particularly would like to thank all women, not only for, as Naya said, and as has already been said before Naya, Nayeli, we only exist because of you. I mean, you bring life to this world. And the only thing I'm sure is that a new economy, more than an economy, a new reality, a new environment must be created from all of us, but without the how do you say that, the delicadeza, without the sweetness, and without the sensibilidad from all of you, it's not possible. So thank you for teaching us on each step that we take in this world to be more human. And thank you for giving me the honor to be here and co-present this. I feel very, very honored. Once again, I want to thank on behalf of the executive team, as known as the staff from Economy of Francesco, for this space. And as I've said, stay tuned, because next week we are launching officially the EoF 2025 global event. I won't say anything else, only the dates that I've already said in November, from the 28th to the 30th of November. But stay tuned to our social media, stay tuned in our social media, and reach out to us. We are looking forward to see you all again, online, virtually, and let's expand this community. This is our main goal, because building a new economy, building a new reality needs more and more people engaged. So thank you once again. Thank you, Eve. Thank you, Valentina. Thank you, Marcia, and the entire working team, all readers, and you, audience. See you soon, and stay tuned.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Ciao. Adios. Ciao.